and I got the QA test server
Oh,
on. Says we are live. What is going on, everybody? If you are watching this on the replay, thank you for being here. I'm just going to check and make sure that the audio is coming through because it says we've started, but I'm just going to check and make sure that I can hear myself. Darkestnyte is on with me. I am so excited for this. Darkestnyte, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great. Great Sunday so far. Relaxing with a little coffee. So yeah, it's been great.
So we got quite an exciting weekend as late Friday night or no, not Friday night, but Friday afternoon. The Mavs got access to the test server, which was pretty cool. And I know I know that you were planning to spend a good chunk of time this weekend in it. How has your experience been so far?
It's been pretty good. It goes through periods of a lot of activity, then down to nothing, right? So I'll spend a lot of time just waiting for matches, which is funny because I talked about that the last time we got together, how it used to be sometimes on the servers, you could wait for a match and sometimes never get matched. It feels very similar to that. So
yep. I've had that happen to me a couple times so far.
Yep.
I haven't spent as much time with it, but I spent a majority of my time on Friday night, and then I played a couple games yesterday. I think we're coming up to the end of season now, right? And we will see. At least we'll be able to see what it looks like from Acclaim. Oh, actually, I have. If you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen here.
Yeah.
And okay, I think I'm on the test server. So we'll say hello to State of Survival before sound left and after sound is here. Yes, indeed. Okay. Because I never claimed my focus chest.
Oh, there we go. That's awesome.
So looks like I earned 3. Man, that the focus is tough. This is one thing that I want to talk to you about, and maybe we can spend the first 20 minutes kind of going over that until we wait for our chest to open up. But how was your experience? And this was not a perfect example, but how was your experience with going for a specific focus? Because a lot of feedback that I'm hearing, oh nice,
Bravo.
And Gargoyle Line. But a lot of feedback that I'm hearing and a lot of great suggestions so far have been, what does this look like for maybe a rework round 2 or 2.0? And I even put a video out about it where it's just like, instead of having a main splinter that you go for 24 hours, like, how do you feel about that? Is it something that you think is being over dramatized right now? Or do you think that there's some room for improvement with it?
It's pure trash. I'm sorry.
hey, no, that's what we want. That's what we want. Okay, glad to hear we're kind of on the same page.
So, I got to tell you, the implementation could definitely be reworked because you're spamming. I mean, the goal is to get as many of these focus chests as possible to get to 30. But if your opponent knows that you're spamming, or whatever it is every time, I mean, very few people on test server ever switch their focus, right? At one point, it did get so bad that I had to just re-roll and do something else. I mean, it was pretty bad.
I re-rolled right away because, like, the first match I played, I saw green. I was like, oh, my focus is Earth 2, so let me just switch this up so that they don't think that I'm just going to go through for Earth. But yeah, I mean, there's people already complaining about it. There's somebody even brought it up on the town hall, and Matt was like, yeah, that's something we need to rethink. So I'm hopeful that this is not going to take forever. I think the easiest implementation that somebody mentioned on the town hall was adding a second splinter. So at least you have 2 options you can flip back and forth between.
Yeah.
So that would be nice. And then if they can expand it in the future to be, I don't know, a little bit more diverse, a little bit. There were some great suggestions in that video that I posted. Somebody said that, like, every chest that you go for could be a different focus or a different splinter.
I would like that.
That would be kind of cool because it adds diversity to the gameplay. So it's just like, okay, but
or just limit the amount of time, right? I think the time is too long, right? So 24 hours is a lifetime. So if they were to do, maybe switch it every 4 hours, right? Give you an option to switch every 4 hours. Something like that, right? But just the constant spam, that's not fun. And especially if you get stuck with a splinter that is not a strength for you, right?
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
And or you find people constantly that it is a strength for them. Icy Flow, and I see you there. Hey, Icy Flow. I mean, he tore me apart, right? And it was the two of us on the server, and we knew which each other's splinters were, and it just bounced back and forth, and not even back and forth. It just tore me up. So it shouldn't be that way. It really should be a lot of fun. The thing that makes you want to play another round, right? Or maybe it's round, right? Maybe that might be a thing, right? Round 1 would be the first 3 chests. Round 2 might be the next 3, or whatever number.
Yeah, there's got to be some diversity to it, because I think people are going to get very frustrated having to play the same thing, and this might actually be a net negative in the beginning. Everybody's excited about these new chests, but if they can't earn them because they're too predictable, it's going to have the opposite effect. All right, let's take a quick moment here to say hello to folks. So State of Survival's here. Eraserheads, what's going on? Harris in the house. Vilson, Brian, how are you guys? Oh, Andrew's saying he plays you quite often in Diamond and Champ.
Yes,
85.
Yeah.
Justin's here. Brian's asking, does win streak increase your focus points? It does. Oh yeah, I mean it increases your reward shares, which is the same as focus points. Harris saying if you have all, oh, this is a cool thing. So Harris is saying if you already have 5 focus chests earned, will it reset if you re-roll the focus? I don't know. That could mix things up. You go for 5 and then
no, I think once you've earned a chest, I think it's yours, right? So I don't think so, but we can test that, right? We can test that in just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Matter of fact, I have one now. If you want to share my screen,
yeah, let's do it.
I can do it now. So I've already earned 2 chests. So let's do a new focus.
What is the answer going to be?
Let's just do that. Ooh.
Did you lose your chest? I can't see it.
I did lose my chest.
Oh no! Oh gosh. Okay.
Well, better to know that on the test server than.
Yeah. Well, Harris, that was a great question. I'm glad we got to test it out here, because I think a lot of people would have made that mistake. Actually, I think a lot of people still are going to make that mistake.
Yeah. But no one in this chat. Right?
Yeah, no one in this chat. All right, everybody. There's 17 people here. I expect none of you 17 to make the same mistake we just did on the test server. So, the thing is, there's still a week plus, right, before this. So I'm hoping that they're going to spend some time tweaking these things before the actual implementation. My only worry is that they get distracted with the validator node sale this week. And I don't know if you want to share any comments on that.
Oh, yeah. So, it's interesting. You'll notice everything's pumping. People are super bullish on Splinterlands right now. I was thinking about this last night, and I feel like the commitment that the player community has made to Splinterland is being returned by the dev team, right? They're doing a lot of things. And if you know anything about development, there are choices. Each one of these choices that they're making, each one of these development things that they're working towards require a commitment both in time and capital from them. They're hiring people. And so I think that they're looking at the community and they are saying, hey, these guys are truly committed to us. We need to match their level of commitment. And I really feel like they're doing that, right? I don't feel like I'm investing all this capital myself and then it'll just go away in 6 months. I do not think that at all, right? So that I'm able to make investments that are, have a year or 2 horizon in terms of maybe making some benefit. So, the validator node, super, bullish on that. And again, it's really just, I want to participate in the community, right? I want to be part of that community. So
that is definitely exciting. Yeah, I'm excited about the validator node stuff. I think here's, it's like human psychology versus actual supply demand economics. The amount of SPS that's going to get burned, which is what people are excited about, I think is insignificant, right? Like people are saying we're going to burn 10, 20 million SPS over the next week if the pre-sale sells out. And I'm like, that's great. But, there's 700 million SPS in circulation and we're getting 1 million per day. So it's like a tiny drop in the bucket, but it does get people excited. And hopefully with prices rising as, Bitcoin stays somewhat sideways or maybe even goes down, my thought process over the next couple of months is, okay, well, if Bitcoin either stays sideways or maybe we just go actual bear and we drop down to the mid 20s. If SPS continues to rise, if we see card prices continue to rise, that is when new players will be interested in coming in, because they're going to see one green spot in a sea of red.
Yeah.
And so that alone could bring some attention. Now, the argument is it the right attention? It could be a lot of investors coming in versus players, and we may just have this whole investor community in where the same wave rolls in of people wanting to make money, and then they realize that this is a long-term thing, not a short-term thing. And so as the game will potentially get stale in the next 6 months before Rebellion drops or something like that, or Land drops, you may get that washout again. We may go through these like periods of ups and downs. So
we've seen it over and over again, right? That's exactly what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So you said something, I think, in one of your other live streams. What if PDE or winter? And I like the term winter, but what if this becomes recession proof? Right? What does that look like for the game? Right? So because entertainment typically spikes during a recession, right? So
well, entertainment and gaming tend to be somewhat recession proof, right? Traditionally.
So again, we don't know. So the next couple of months could be really, really interesting. But based on what we're seeing right now, right? As long as there's a use case, as long as there is some level of excitement or change, people will continue to invest. And we're seeing that now on the card prices, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last week, it was, gloom and doom and everything's going to zero. And then, literally a week later, we're high-fiving. Right. So, it's kind of this manic behavior of, oh my God, then, oh my God. So,
yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. So what makes me bullish long-term is for like P2E or just like crypto gaming is we already saw it kind of happen last summer. So when Bitcoin did its dramatic fall following the Elon Musk tweet and the China banning of mining, Axie took off, right? So and Axie kind of led the wave. So I think there's probably going to be quite a few people who will be looking for, okay, what's either the next game, or is that just a proof of concept that a game can actually do something during that time? Because people want to stay engaged in crypto. Like unlike myself in 2018 when Bitcoin decided to just completely fart itself out, the life just became interesting in other areas and I stopped paying attention. But now the gaming sector has been fully pulled in, and I think a lot of folks feel the same way, or will feel the same thing if certain games start to decouple from the rest of the market. So I'm just trying to think of this in like simple mathematical terms, right? Like there are maybe 100 million people using crypto, maybe 150 million people using crypto around the world.
Less than 0.5%, I think it is the number.
Less than point. Yeah, it's like a tiny fraction. So I want to be cognizant of that. But think about it this way: over the next 2 years, let's say we're full bear. Let's say that there's no other rally, but let's say over the next 2 years, 6 months to 2 years, that you get another 1 million players to come in, like real players, right? And it doesn't happen overnight, and it's just a slow and steady, like, the ads reach 1,000 players this week, it reaches 5,000 players this week, and over time that adds up to 1 million people over the next 2 years. If each of those people bring in $10 worth of value in addition to the spell book, I mean, that's $10 million worth of volume coming in, right? Of money coming into the space, and the cards for the most part are going to remain limited based on the numbers we already know. So,
and especially if you want to climb the rankings, right? I think that's going to be the driver for a lot of this. Now you mentioned Axie, right? And I think you did a video yesterday. What if Axie and Splinterlands flip? So then I don't know if you've ever played Axie before. I haven't.
I haven't. I've watched it on Twitch, and I had someone explain it to me carefully, and I realized that it's not for me.
If you want to, okay, so I guess a little plug for another streamer. There's a guy called Bit Trio.
Okay,
you have got to watch some of his Axie gameplay. He is the most hilarious guy I've ever heard play a game, and I like his commentary more than I like the game, right? So if you get a chance to watch that, it's absolutely hilarious. But in watching some of the gameplay, it's not very similar to Splinterlands yet. But one of the things you can do is during the game, you can apply effects, and I don't know where you get all these cards from, but you play effects during the game that give you a boost. And I said, that sounds an awful lot like Land.
Yep.
And so in maybe 6 months to a year, will that very popular aspect of the gameplay be player driven, because we're the ones that own the land, and we're going to be the ones that are making all these highly desirable cards, right? So what is that going to do to the to the ecosystem, right? So we're going to have to see.
Yeah, I mean, so functional land isn't it's still like a year away, so I think so much can change in a year. But I agree with you that I don't know that we would necessarily flip Axie, but Axie just has such a big brand. But the things that make me excited are the fact that Splinterlands seems to be really focused on some high level partnerships, and I think the Warner Music Group is kind of understated at this point in time, because we don't really know what's going to come from that, but that could bring a hell of a lot of attention if they do some things there. But
yeah, I agree with you, right? So how I found Splinterlands was through the Brave browser, right? So they've got to definitely bring awareness to it. I don't think when people see those ads, I don't think it clicks as to what it is, right? Oh, it's one of many games that are out there, but there are segments of the population that love trading card games, right?
Yeah,
and I think they need to find out where those people are and bring them in.
I agree, and I think we're gonna do that slowly and steadily. I'm glad that the big rush is done. And here's the thing: if there was another big rush, and I think you're probably of the similar mindset. If there's another big rush, I wouldn't trust it, and I would probably be like, if SPS hit $1 again, I would probably sell a good chunk of my SPS, and I would say, there will be a bear market at some point in time. And as much as it sucks to like part with my SPS, if we like go parabolic over a short span of like a couple of months, I'm gonna be like, screw it. Selling X amount of SPS will change my life, or selling these cards. Actually, I've been stacking up on a bunch of those penny cards. I mean, those to me seem like one of the easiest like 10x returns at this point. Not financial advice, but
I will show you what I hold on, give me a second. What I picked up just this morning, and something interesting, right? So I think playing. Okay, so we'll talk about bonuses in a second, right? But here's the big one. So here's the marketplace. That's Gargoyle Lion Gold. So I maxed out a copy of that this morning, and not for a lot, right? I mean, I think the value now is, let's look at it. Yeah, $15. It was actually lower this morning, but for 5,000 collection power and the bonus that this is going to have in the rewards, I think this card's going to start to pay dividends, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
And I think, because again, people are talking about ECR in terms of getting your focus and getting your chests every day. But the challenge will be, and I think Tales from the Cryptomancer did a video on this, but it's the accumulation of all the bonuses, right?
Yeah.
That will help to almost double, I won't say double, maybe 30 to 40% increase in your rewards, and the points gained per win are going to be significant, right? So I think you're going to see a rush to gold cards. I think, and the gold cards, because if it's a gold card, it doesn't matter whether it's modern, wild, or anything. The bonus is still the same, right? And there are tons of cheap gold cards out there right now that have good use, right? Look at Gargoyle Lion, right? If I were to put an epic symbol right there and throw that card over to you, you'd probably say, "Oh my God, that card is awesome." Right? It's common. I think it's under the radar, right? Yeah. And so if you look at, I mean, it has flight, it's excellent against magic. It has enrage,
Yeah.
right? Stats don't even apply once it takes damage.
I love it in gold. That's the thing. Like at the lower levels, I can see why people view it as trash, and it's literally the cheapest card out there. But oddly enough, I tend to use this more than Pelacor Mercenary in a lot of situations, just because of the flight and void.
Yep.
So ends up working out. Yeah. No, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting couple of months here, but I think the point that you bring up about gold cards will start to make a huge difference. So just catching up on the chat here. So State of Survival saying ECR is the only thing holding us back. And that's 100% true. So any ways that you can get a bonus, right? Alpha, beta, gold cards, and being part of a guild or leveling up your guild is going to be very important.
Yep.
All right, Ben's in the house. State of Survival, what's going on? Chuni's here too. Card prices went up big last night. Justin, do you think the new rewards card nerf Yoden or buff Yoden? Oh, we didn't even go over the new rewards cards. We should get your thoughts on those if you just want to do a quick or it doesn't need to be quick, however much time you want to spend on it. I'm curious to know what are some of your favorites and what are some of the ones you're not excited about.
I would say the legendary card for red. I forgot what her name is. You can bring it up on your side.
Yeah, I'll bring it up on my side here. Countess Sinesh. Oh my gosh, she's gonna make Yoden even worse to deal with. Actually, let's go to, because I don't know if they're on the market. So let's go to all cards and rewards.
Oh, there's another guy in chat that tore me up on the QA server. Druid's Blood.
Druid's Blood. What's going on, Druid's Blood? All right, hold on. Before we jump into it, I just want to make sure we recognize everybody who's here. Harris is in the house. Justin, Chuni, Icy Flow, Brian Wu. Okay, and Druids. Cool. All right. I bought a chunk of Uraeus as well. Maybe 10 maxed out. Nice, Brian. I love playing with Uraeus at the higher levels. Once he gets poisoned, it's a game changer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So here is Countess Sinesh. I don't know. It's funny because I called for this card to be nerfed at some point because I'm just like, it's way too powerful, man. Maxed out is way too powerful.
Yeah, that's insane. You throw it into, I mean, again, I think what keeps it, I guess competitive is the fact that it's 8 mana, but still they've raised the mana cap, right? So that is outrageous.
So there were a couple things here. Again, the fact that you compare it with someone like Yoden, it has life leech. That's huge as it is. It's already fast, or she's already fast, and then she gets swiftness at the highest levels. Wait, what the heck? Yeah. I just got
our rewards are ready. Oh, well, they will be in a second. So
you're right. Okay, let me refresh this and see. Yep. Oh, see, I claimed these already, so there's still some bugs happening in the test server.
Yeah.
All right, Zach's here, Patrick's here. What's going on, guys? So Brian's asking what penny cards did I stack? All the new rewards commons. Those are going for like $1.50 to 2 pennies.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? So I see like Druid is saying, hey, the prices are pumping. I don't know whether you're saying that we're pumping them. I don't think we have the ability to do that. However, you can just use a little bit of common sense as to what will most likely pump on its own, right? And you want to get those cards early, right? If last week when all the cards tanked, you wanted to take advantage of that, right? And if you're not thinking in those terms of taking advantage of a dip, and I hate using the term dip, right, because that implies that it's going to go back up, but it's a little bit of a risk, right? But if you're long term, these are cards that you're going to want to have for Modern and Wild, right? And you want to get them while they're cheap. You got to get them while they're cheap.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm just looking at. Sorry, I'm using a different screen here, but I was getting Venari Crystal Smiths for under 5 cents, and now it's 8 cents. So that's a 60% jump in a week. That's crazy to me. Let's see. What are the new rewards cards that are? New rewards cards might have even done a 2x at this point in time, or some of them might have done a 2x at this point in time.
Yeah. If you look at, I mean, if you just look at the marketplace for reward cards, which were at one point were super cheap, all of them usually are. You look at the marketplace for the ones that are out of print right now, and some of the prices will floor you, right? So,
I think let's take a look, because you've given me some great examples in the past, and maybe we can share these with folks here. I think like the common ones you were showing, or you like comparing Pelican Mercenary to Flesh Golem, which is technically not a rewards card, but has similar properties with the self-heal.
Yes, absolutely. But even if you look at just the commons for previous iterations of reward cards, right? Actually, you had a great one. If you go back to the top, it's the first one there, right? Which is Sea Monster, right? Sea Monster was a common. It was dropped all the time, right? And at one point, it was 5 cents, or it was probably lower than that in the time frame. And now it's $2.64, right? Same thing for Wood Nymph, right? Same thing for Cube. Like, these are all cards that are highly sought after now, but at one point were pennies.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I think Wood Nymph has very similar properties to Vinar Crystal Smith, where you get that tank heal at level 1.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's going to go up to $2, guys, but I'd be very happy if it did. $2.50.
I remember Sandworm, right? Like, it was, I mean, that was recently, right? And that was everywhere. It was pennies. And the moment it was at the print, bang, like a rocket.
Yeah. Gosh, I hate when Sandworm gets snared, because then he always takes down my Pellicar Bandit at the end. never misses.
And at its highest level, it gets poisoned, right? So I think it gets poisoned. Yeah, it does.
Let's see here.
I'm sorry.
No, he gets pierced, which is even worse. Oh my gosh, playing in Diamond has been something else this season.
Yeah.
The grind. How are you back in Champion yet?
Not yet. I'm closing in though. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still struggling around like the 3,200 area, so it's getting there. Wait, there were a couple other cards that I wanted to get your thoughts on. So let's go back to the rewards here. All cards, rewards. I really liked the life ones. So Jared Scar and where's the other dude? Oh, and Volguin. I think life is going to be the big winner out of this, but Jared Scar.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy.
Bloodlust, True Strike, and Pierce starting in gold. Right. I mean, he's not fast, but he's going to get his shots in.
He's absolutely going to get shots in. In fact, the speed may not be a bad thing, right? Because let the other members of the party do damage, and then he comes in and just wrecks, right? Yeah. So, and then he'll get the bloodlust will trigger, and then the next round, the same thing.
And he's doing 6 damage at that point in time. That's
7, then 8, right? So
yeah, one of my favorite cards. And then I think this guy's not underrated, but I think he's going to be one of the best cards out there. 2 mana, scavenge at the lowest level, and then you get dodge. He's already quite fast, and then enrage at the highest levels. Like, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think in the the Little League, I think it'll more than likely dominate. I think it's an updated version. What was it? The Crystal Werewolf. I think that was 3 mana, but I think, and it was, if I remember correctly, it was a rewards card too. So it's a new version, right? So something that's not the exact same reprint, but I think it'll have very similar.
Yeah, they have different abilities, right? Crystal Werewolf was good anti-magic, whereas I feel like this guy is, well, I guess dodge is just good for melee and ranged.
I mean, for me, since it has the effect. You know, what's that effect? What do you call it again?
Enrage?
No, the vulture.
Scavenger.
Scavenger, right? Just put it at the end of your group. Let it, you know, build up strength, and by the time it gets to the front, he'll be, you know, pretty good. Final tank, right?
I mean, again, once he gets dodged, so this is going to be in gold. Once he gets dodged, you can throw him in the back as like a back tank. It'd be perfect for like melee, like what are those, super sneak or melee mayhem, where he can still be productive in attacking. But
absolutely, yeah. But I think, but the enrage, that's the thing, right? So he spent a couple of rounds, you know, building up a little bit of damage, and then that enrage buffs up everything, right? So
exactly, yeah. All right, one more splinter I want to go through with you. So I think we might have talked about Ever Hungry Skull already. I like this card. I think Death was probably the second place winner of cards because this one getting stunned at level 1, I think is going to be huge.
Yeah,
it's interesting. We've had conversations in our guild. I remember with Artneck, me and you, and some other folks who chimed in about how like there just wasn't enough stun happening in bronze or silver. Well, now you're going to get it in bronze. And I think there was only one silver stun monster, at least in modern format.
Right.
And so now you're going to get this at level 1. So I just feel like the stun knockout combos are going to be going on left and right.
This is going to be great. Like, I think this is going to be another highly sought after card for sure. And it can't be stunned itself, right? At higher levels, right? So, which is great.
Oh, that's true. Oh, so immunity blocks from stun too?
It does.
That is true. So you can see how much I've spent with it. So, last one we'll go through. This card here, I know the folks in our guild were very hyped about. Venator Kinjo, the legendary.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this guy's just stacked. Like he's 2 mana, so he's cheap. He's not going to do much as a fighter, but as in terms of a support card, this is quite the resume.
Oh yeah. Amplify. Oh yeah, that's going to be great.
So, I am already thinking about how all of this like reflect shield will nerf Yoda, and I think he's probably going to be one of the best ones to use because, and not just Yoda, but like any of those like blast games, because you can park a taunt monster, and there's 2 great ones, Wave Brood and what's that called? Mycelic Slip Spawn. You can park those at the end or maybe the front of your team, most likely the end, and then just park him right next to them.
Next to him.
Exactly. And then that just nerfs everything because he's not going to take any of that damage.
Yep, absolutely. And I think the best thing about this card is it's neutral.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's versatile across the board.
All across the board, right? I think this is probably one of the better cards.
Yeah. Were there any other cards that stood out to you? I forgot what the last legendary was.
I think that was there. I think there was. Oh, the dragon one. Yes.
Oh, dragon. This was only a rare card, but I felt like it still had a lot of potential.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I'm normally not a big fan of Cripple. But since it's sneak, that may be a different story now, right? It also has Affliction. You know, I'm a fan of Affliction.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you decide you want to park a regen character at the back, especially during poison matches, you see that a lot, right? Then it will stop that regeneration, so, or that healing.
I mean, this is perfect for like Kron last stand situations.
Oh yeah.
And then you'll have plenty of time to like take him down as well, because that cripple will reduce even if you don't stick the affliction right away. That cripple will reduce overall health.
Right. Yeah. So so if you're doing Llama Kron, the goal is you want to kill the Kron before it goes into last stand, right? And gets cleansed. Once it gets cleansed, then all that cripple leaves, and then it goes right back to normal health. So you want to definitely be careful of that. But
well, the thing is, I faced a lot of Krons with just Obsidian, right? And Kron level 3, you're gonna get last stand anyway. So if you can stick that affliction before he gets to last stand, you're gonna be set.
Yeah, I agree with Druid on this one. The artwork is phenomenal.
Very nice. All right, so hold up. Let's take a moment here to just catch up on the chat if that's cool with you.
Yep.
Zach's here. Do you guys think it was worth buying Power for Gold 2 now that Modern is coming? Vilson, the pessimist in me says we're not getting Modern for a while, but hopefully we do get it by next month. I don't know. I mean, from what we know right now, Modern is going to be half the CP. Actually, I'm curious, Darkest Night, where do you plan on spending most of your time? If you're willing to share that publicly.
Both. Yeah, both.
So you're gonna have. Are you gonna do it like with separate accounts where you have one account that focuses on gold and one?
I don't think you have to. Yeah, no. So I'm going to bounce back and forth between the two. I don't believe they share the same ECR. I don't know if they've given details like that, but
I think they do.
oh, well, if they do, then I probably my son plays, so right, so I might help him.
Yeah.
Delegate more, right? So that might be a thing where I wait until ECR replenishes. It really depends, right? We have two major changes that are coming, right? One is rewards. The other is the Modern Wild, right?
Yeah.
So lots of different forces, vying for my attention and how I play. And so I think I'll get used to the reward changes first, see how that goes. And then depending on really the details around Modern Wild, because they can change anything they want on it, right?
Yeah.
My preference is not to have multiple accounts, right? Darkestnyte is kind of like my identity. My son has an account and I play for him sometimes, but it's not the same, right?
Yeah.
So, so my hope is that I can bounce back and forth pretty easily and not be penalized for that.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so just some early thoughts or initial thoughts with what's happening right now. I still expect DEC to go down in value, or at least below the peg. So I wonder if the appeal of playing in Wild will be lost somewhat. Maybe for players like yourselves who have a lot of the older cards that are very powerful. You'll find Modern a little too restrictive in terms of like the strategy and game meta, because the way I see it now, just like, if reward shares are going to be gained in the same way on both sides,
right,
then what's the appeal of what's the appeal of Wild at this point? Like, it really was, the thought process was, if most players are spending time in Modern, then Wild is going to have less people dipping into the DEC pool. But if the DEC pool just isn't big to begin with, and reward shares are kind of equal across the board, that's I'll be curious to see if a lot of older players or players with older cards will decide to just step into Modern. If not right when Modern launches, then maybe when Land launches and they decide to park their Wild cards in to work Land.
So again, just based on what the team says they want to do, I think it's unlikely that it'll have a smaller pool. Otherwise, you're penalizing your oldest players, right? Who have made significant investments. So the hope is that they would be able to recover some of that investment over time, right? By staying committed to the game. So if you start out with a lesser pool, then I don't think they'll be, I know I won't be happy about that, right? One of the pools of Wild will be that it'll have a smaller group of players in it.
Well, the lesser pool in the sense that, like, if DEC goes down, they print less DEC, right? The value of DEC goes down. It's still going to be even, the amount that goes to Wild and Modern. It's just like, it's like the way that it was before. Sure, you're going to have like maybe 50% less players playing in Wild, but just the pie may not be worth it anymore if the pie is super small.
Yeah, it's hard to say, right? We don't know what the implementation is going to look like.
Sure.
But I'm optimistic, right? Like, I don't think that they'll do anything that would discourage either group of players, right? I think it'll be in everyone's best interest to just play, have fun, and reap the rewards.
Yeah, I wonder how they would. I don't know. I think the community would act quite negatively if they buffed some of the rewards in Wild. If there's not as much activity there, in order to spur activity, if they change some of the rewards there or increase the rewards, people might view it.
I don't think that anyone would ask for that. I know, as long as it's fair, right, and it's consistent. I don't know if a lot of the older players would ask for that, knowing what it would do to the community. Now, I could be wrong, right? I don't know everybody, but I just don't think it's going to be a thing, right? I hope it's not going to be a thing.
Sure.
And they just go in and just say, hey, have at it. Play where you want and how you want. The rewards will be the same.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. So Abdel Kadir is asking, how can I use the test server? If you are a Maverick, which at this point you need to buy 1,000 packs, then you'll have, I think you have automatic access to the test server. Druid says you teach everyone well. Darkestnyte. So well done. So Chuni saying, found out last night that you will only need the lowest power for a league to get chests. For example, you only need 100 KCP to earn chests and gold. There's no difference between gold 1 and gold 3. Yeah, I believe that is the case as well. What triggered card prices to go up from previous packs? Oh, I forgot I can do this. From previous pack sales. How long did it take to see a meaningful jump and what triggered it? You might be better suited to answer this since you've been...
Good question. Lots of factors, right? But how much of an increase are we talking about here, right? So from what to what, and really when, right? I mean, they've gone up and down, right? So maybe State of Survival, you can kind of give just a little bit more kind of information around your question, and then we can dig back into it. It's a great question, I mean, but it has so many different answers to it, right?
Yeah. All right, we'll come back to that. So Life is stacked for low mana matches. Life has a lot of good cards for low mana.
It really does.
Justin, After Sound, do you think paying SPS to buy and rent cards will be implemented, and do you support it? No, I don't think so, but I think you'll always be able to buy credits with SPS. So that functionality is already there. It's just a one-way transaction because you will lose your SPS to buy credits. So just make sure you actually want to do that before you do it. Jedi Sky Knight, damn, late again. It's all good. Just happy you're here. I feel like Revealer really buffs Waka. Stun makes the game longer and more chances to stick poison.
Yes, I agree with that. I think I was telling Ardenek that, right? Is if you get the stuns in, then it just gives time for the poison to work, right? So.
Yeah, Kinjo's a beast. Double strike, cripple, oof, total 6 shield. Yeah, these cards are going to change the meta quite a bit. Do you think? Okay, so taking a step back from this, do you think based on the cards that you played with when you first came in versus the cards that came out with the CL rewards, CL packs, and now these updated rewards, is there power creep happening?
Well, that's a great question because you and I play sometimes, and I'm like, what the hell? So, yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? I don't think any player should be upset that they don't have some of the older cards at all, right? These cards are really good, and I think they're very well balanced. Back in alpha, beta, I mean, they were just figuring the game out back then, right? But they know what they want to do, and almost all of the older cards have appropriate replacements now, right? That are really, really good, and add on to the fact that they increase the mana cap of the battles, right? Even though they're higher mana, it doesn't really feel like it matters. Right. So no, I mean, not power creep, right? I just think they're much better balanced.
That's fair. I will say, so, I don't have these cards. Darkestnyte, thank you for delegating some of the maxed out versions for me in Diamond. But to report back to you on how some of these cards are doing, I gotta say that Kelia and Quix the Devious, so playing with these like buffed up dragons, specifically like Carnage Titan, Chaos Dragon, I'm surprised at the amount of times that I'm able to overcome. I'm able to overcome Jotun, Kitty, and even like Lamacron sometimes. And actually, Lamacron, I was able to overcome with just like Obsidian and Dr. Blight, which is interesting. So Obsidian, Dr. Blight, and then who's that stun monster? Eyes of the Fang. She doesn't get much love, but that stun comes in really handy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and which I didn't really think that was going to be a thing, right? Because people were really hating on her, but it's good in that scenario. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let me pop back over to comments. Mitchell's here. What's going on? What's going on with Hive? I don't know what you mean by that. Bonuses will be big in Wild for older players with Alpha Beta card. Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So that'll be
bonus there you go. Okay, Darkestnyte.
Yeah.
Good call on that. So you'll be probably earning a ton more reward shares then for all the older cards that you use.
Yeah, and even and that's why I've been going for Modern, going towards the gold cards, right? To keep those bonuses, right? Because those bonuses for older cards won't exist, but for the gold cards bonus will.
Okay. I agree with that. So Will of D's in the house. Furious Chicken, what's up? I think I remember the team saying ECR will be the same for Modern and Wild, is what Harris is saying. I forgot when. I feel like I heard the same thing too. They're gonna need to really lay this out clearly because I think there's a lot of confusion right now. So hopefully we do get some information about that.
So what would be? What would be the benefit? Of sharing the two, right? It would again further curtail how much you're playing. I don't think they want people just to stop playing to wait for ECR. Again, they could, but I want to play, right? I want to play. I play all day long, right? Sometimes I just say, screw the ECR and continue playing. But
that's how it's been for me this entire season so far. Yeah, exactly. And I was worried that reward shares, ECR, like that. I thought that maybe that behavior would go away, but now I'm starting to think if every game, like that progress bar is such a psychological hack because it's just like, I don't care what my ECR is because I know technically my ECR will never go to 0. So if every game I play is going to get me just a little more reward shares if I win, then I'm going to be that guy like asking for more dopamine hits, right? Just like, just one more.
Now, an easy fix could just be to increase the rate of regeneration, right? That could be a super easy fix. You're playing now in two different, two different modes of the game. So we're just going to bump it up by 25% or 30%, right? Again, I don't know what the original purpose for implementing ECR was. I wasn't around at that point, but I'm sure that there's a valid reason for it, but hopefully that reason is now gone.
Yeah, agreed. Hold up. I just want to see if there were any other rewards cards that were worth mentioning. I don't think Tidebiter.
Oh, Tidebiter, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the other guy that has Reflect Shield. I like him in the reach spot because that Reflect Shield comes in super handy. Is this a card that you see yourself using?
I don't know that I would put it in the second spot because I love Flying Squid.
That's true.
Flying Squid. But in a low mana game, yeah, absolutely. Right? But again, in a low mana game, how often do you see Blast?
True. Well, unless it's a low mana Blast specific rule set.
Oh, true. Actually,
so, yeah, but I what you're saying, like you're not going to see Jotun in like a sub 20. Sometimes you do, but
what I like about this card though is not the shield is great. Don't get me wrong, but at that last level, having being able to hit every single time.
True strike, yeah.
For 3, so 3 damage for 3 mana. Plus with Kelia, you're definitely going to use it with Kelia. So so it'll have a little bit of protection there as well.
And speed.
Right? So
yeah. I like this card a lot.
Me too.
Okay. So we got a lot of comments here. So Chuni's asking, is there any scenario that you would run a bot in bronze yourself? Do you think there is a positive ROI at some point? Darkestnyte, you want to take that?
Yeah, so we talked about this last time, right? So I may not have enough hours in the day to play as much as I want, and we were joking around about running a bot. My thing is trust. I used to do security, network security, right? And so I don't like the idea of someone taking actions for me and having access to my keys. So that'll be the thing that would make me not want to run a bot. But would I run it in bronze? No. I don't know that I would be able to get the scale, but I would probably run it in champion for sure.
That's fair. I'm just too lazy to run a bot, guys. I'm just never gonna figure it out. I'm like, it's just one of those things that I'm not gonna take the time to do. Also, just speaking like very candidly on the bot situation, I think that there's a lot of like animosity and negative energy towards bots that like I just don't want to dabble in that. The last thing I need is like people jumping into the comments here like thinking that I'm defending bots because I'm a bot owner. If I'm going to defend bots, and I do defend bot rights and their rights to exist, because like I believe in what the team is trying to do. So I can comfortably come on and say that now. But if I were to run bots in the future, I feel like that would be, there'd be a conflict of interest there. So I just have zero desire to run them.
Yeah. For me, I just don't want to care about what someone else is doing. Right. I'm trying to focus on what I'm trying to do. Right. And again, the bots are so easy to beat. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, right? The way that I play. And you asked me about this. We were playing a game. And you asked me why I put certain, cards in. And what was my response, right? I'm an emotional player.
Emotional player,
I see I said, oh, I love that card. And I'll throw it in. I mean, it could be the worst card ever. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And, I think, honestly, the bots are like that, right? I think they look at certain percentages of cards and they do a calculation and they create a team. But the thing is that becomes predictable, right? And so what I've had to do more, especially on the way I've been playing lately, because we're in our little competition, right? Mm-hmm. So I can't lose, or I don't want to lose. I'm spending more time.
I'm going to try and catch you today. We'll see.
Oh, well, catch on. So, but I found I spend more time now, especially this season more than any other season, evaluating my opponents the last 5 games. I never used to do that. I would just try to field the best team of the best cards I have. And it worked, right? I mean, it's not efficient, but it works. But when you really focus on the makeup of someone's team, and you see that, oh, they like to put bait cards in the front, then to switch to sneak, right? And snipe, or not snipe, but more sneak to hit their back line. I never used to do that before, right? I would just, again, field the best team I could and click go. Right?
Yeah.
Definitely not efficient.
Well, I have to say that some of the cards that you have are super powerful, that you probably didn't have to spend as much time thinking about it. Like, so for example, the couple times when you would delegate to me to like make my champion runs,
sure.
If I get Valnamor or Jotun, like my first thought is I'm going to use one of these two. Right. If those are available and the mana cap is there, I'm going to use one of them just because they're powerful enough. So I would actually not be caring as much about what the other team is playing, and just focus on like which one is the better one to use in this context. Whereas oddly enough, when I don't have those powerhouses and I'm just focusing on like the Chaos Legion summoners, there's a lot more like 4D chess being played of like what are they going to play? What's my best and most optimal lineup? And that changes obviously the higher up you get. But like, especially in like the lower gold, lower diamond, I would say it didn't really matter.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Icy Flow is saying it's more of a mana creep than power creep. I agree with that. I mean, they literally just raised the mana, so that's not a line. Oh, this is a good one for you. Ben's asking if you have any thoughts on the legendary summoners. He's asking you specifically, Darkestnyte, what you would want to see on the legendary summoners.
Oh, that is a great question. Wow, so many options. What would I like to see? Well, of course, something with the death splinter. But here's the thing. I'm really happy with the death summoners now, right? So what would I possibly change? I know it'll be something that will debuff, right? Which I love. I'll tell you what I really would like to see. And I know this is going to be controversial. I would love to start seeing reprints of some of the older cards. That's what I would like to see, right? So some of the cards you can't get super expensive. And again, not the exact same card, right? But something similar. The 5 mana, 3 ability. Right? I mean, it doesn't have to be the same abilities, right? So yeah, something that fills the gap, right? We have the 7, we have 3s and 4s. Let's do the 5s then.
That makes me think that maybe the legendary summoners may not be the new legendary summoners may not be 8, but maybe 6.
Possibly.
Yeah. But in that case, like I don't know if they'll undercut like the llamas, Jotuns, and kitties of the world.
I think it will, right? I mean, again, You know, the game is always changing, but I would like to see something that kind of just really, for me, 5 is the magic number, right? But 6, I mean, again, with the mana creep that they've had for
Sure, yeah.
battles, I don't even think it matters. I mean, heck, we could get 10 mana summoners, right? That could be a thing, given. But and again, if you look at the cards that we've gotten in Chaos Legion, a lot of them are giant killer types of cards, right? So.
Yeah. I don't know. I can see the Rift Watcher summoners maybe being more niche, right? Like so the thing is like dice were the same as Untamed. They were all 3. But if they want to do something like crazy with Rift Watchers, then maybe seeing like a 10 mana summoner where you only use them for those like 50 plus mana games could be interesting. But like 10 mana and maybe they have like 4 abilities, right? So like it could be super complicated like that.
Are you trying to say that Lorna is niche? She's brutal, dude.
She is.
Worst.
Lorna and Myler both crushed me in lower league. I mean, Lorna still does now. It's so annoying. Okay, well, I do want to press you on this, Darkestnyte, because I know that Death is your favorite Splinter.
Yeah.
So on your wish list, if you could write to Santa Agrod right now, or Santa Yaba, what would you want to see on your legendary Chaos Legion Death Summoner?
Honestly,
and you could just pick one ability. It doesn't need to be like a.
I have it right.
Okay.
One that doesn't debuff but buffs. So I guess plus melee. So +1 melee.
Okay.
Slow. Right. Still get a little debuff in there, right? So it does slow. And my favorite gives armor. Protect.
That'd be so interesting. Okay, so if we were to package this all together, you do +1 melee, +1 armor,
yes,
and -1 speed.
Correct.
Interesting. Would you care to share what the top members of your team might look like with that?
Lord of Darkness.
Okay.
Pegasus for sure.
Oh gosh, yeah, those are gonna be
Shavi, right? Shavi.
Oh yeah.
Then I would probably throw in, given the mana, I would throw in Jin. What's his name? The Jin.
Moirat?
Yeah, I would throw him in. And then I gotta have Affliction, so Dr. Black.
Dr. Blight. Okay. That would be a tough I mean, just the 3 melee monsters you listed would be tough enough to deal with.
Yeah.
With the +1 armor.
Yeah, and that's it, right? Because I don't think Pegasus has. Oh, I would throw one more in. My new favorite lately has been Scavo Hireling.
Well, I mean, if you're going to get that +1 armor, that's going to be huge. I love playing blue just because of Kelia getting the +1 armor, and then Murdali Guardian, who has both the heal and the armor repair.
It is
such a fantastic card.
It's a sick combo.
It's so great. Okay, cool. I wanted to get your thoughts. I'm gonna clip this and I'm gonna send it to Yaba. see if we can get it put in. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, just completely override whoever paid like for thousands of packs at that point.
Maybe they might hear it and say, "Oh, that's a great idea."
That's a great idea. All right, we'll find out who it was that got it. All right. For example, Sea Genie went as low as 5 cents. I was told Creeping Ooze. Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of these stories. Oh, Furious Chicken was 5 cents too.
It was everywhere. It was everywhere. Right, super cheap because they were commons, right? They would drop as much as you see Pellicors. The Pellicors, yeah, same thing.
I mean, I'm just I'm stacking the Venari Crystal Smiths, right, as well, just because I think that from a meta perspective, it's valuable across across all the different leagues. But yeah, I think we're going to see the same or similar thing.
I think, is there a neutral reward card? Let's see what we have here. I think in the current set, Uraeus is the only neutral one we have right now, I think.
Well, you have like the Gargoyles.
Yes. And so so those two, I think they're going to be good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're common now, right? So we don't really think about it.
Yeah, I mean, these aren't on the same level as like a chicken, but that like Gargoyle Devil comes in handy in multiple areas. Like anytime there's a +1, right? So Selena Sky, Sloan, and Yoden, I feel like he's got homes in multiple places. Gargoyle Lion, I don't feel like is super useful at the base level. That flying is definitely handy, and the neutral aspect of it is good. But the fact that you have Pellicor Deceiver, Pellicor Mercenary on those two splinters kind of covers you for a flying tank, I guess. But Uraeus, I agree. Uraeus, I see. Here's the thing with Uraeus, I didn't love him. I couldn't understand why he was an epic when I was playing in bronze and silver. It wasn't until excuse me, it wasn't until the gold where he got poisoned where I was like, oh, now I use him every chance I get.
Yeah. And 3 for 3, right? Damage at the highest level.
True. Yep. 3 for 3 damage. I love pairing him up with Pellicor Bandit too. It's just super fun. All right. Is the concern over ECR about the amount of DEC you earn? DEC solo, and it seems the main thing is going to be rewards focused. No, Junie, I agree with you. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like the amount of DEC being printed every day is going to be insignificant. So it really is going to be about earning more cards.
Yeah. But I would say, so two things about that, right? The concern for me, thanks, Furious Chicken.
I just wanted to share that with you.
That's funny. So for me, it's like everything else, right? When I see it's another status bar that I know is supposed to be at 100, and right now I see it at 31%, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing something wrong, right? It's meant to give you that type of reaction. That's my only concern with it. If they got rid of the ACR and didn't show me what it was, I would be, but still had it, I would then I could ignore it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now for you, here's an interesting thing. You when you opened your end of season rewards, and I don't think you really focused on this as much as you should have, but there was one chest where you got 14,000.
Yeah.
You see, so that happened to you, right? We all saw it. Now you're playing in Champion. That same box drops. Now it's 14,000 times 48.
It would have been over 600,000 DEC. That's I know, no, it's insane. So okay, so I've been doing my daily quest. This is what's exciting because I've been doing my daily quest and actually frustrating right now. I've been doing my daily quest in Diamond, right? Just with our little competition going on. And like just yesterday, I completed a daily quest, had I think 12 chests or something like that. 3 of them, 4 DEC, 4 DEC, and 2 DEC. And I was just like, this is so frustrating right now, but it feels good to know that I will never get stuff this low, not even in gold, because gold is an 8x, right? So you should never get less than 8 DEC per chest versus, and something like Champion, you'll never get less than 48 DEC per chest. So
yeah, but just thinking about that one example, if that chest you had gotten was a month from now, right? What would that look like? Like what kind of celebration? Because that's over.
That's like $600,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, that'd be about $600 exactly. Like what? I mean, would you buy a kitty with that? Like at least one kitty? What's kitty at right now?
No, because I would probably just go and try to get closer to maxing out my chaos deck at this point.
There you go. So you'd have a plan of what you do with it already, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that can happen, right? I think when those stories start to come out, I think it would be a mad rush into this game.
Yeah. Well, it does. So, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I don't think my deck currently is good enough for Diamond. I think it's decent for gold, but it does make me want to make that jump into Diamond sooner rather than later. Like, I'll be happy enough in gold with the 8x on DEC. I think that's going to be nice. I don't know what is the multiplier for
Diamond? Our rewards now on the QA server.
Oh, so you want me to share your screen?
Let's do yours first.
All right.
This should be interesting. So none of us have seen this before. I think you'll have to refresh.
Yeah, let's refresh. Come on now. Are you gonna make me log in again? All right, hold on. Let me just.
Like, do not share.
I don't know what's shared here and not. So give me a second. All right, log in. Man, I missed the Frey sign up again for our thing. I need to set like a timer or a calendar thing for myself so I know when to go in and grab a Frey.
The guild is growing, so yeah.
It is. All right, so here we go. Gonna go in and claim rewards. Are you playing in a Frey this season?
Yes.
I kind of want to grab some gold foil cards just to help out on that side of the Frey because I feel like we're gonna have a bunch of people to play all the other things.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
All right, so I got 12 bronze chests. Now we shouldn't expect too much from this, but it'll be nice if we could get 4 DEC, 4 DEC. Oh, those are always the toughest ones. 1 DEC.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, this looks like a bronze. Actually, you know what's funny is like this looks like this looks like my diamond pull from yesterday. My daily quest for diamond.
Okay, you could share mine. So I have 33.
Oh, you really grinded for it.
I did. All right, so I'm going to.
Let me add yours in.
Here we go.
Go.
Go ahead and claim rewards. That again.
Well, this is exciting. Regardless, for bronze, the fact that you can go in and earn this much is awesome. I think.
Yep. All right, so here we go.
Ooh. Oh, you got it.
There we go.
Nice pull.
Yeah.
Epic card.
You're playing in bronze. You get that, right? You're super happy right now.
Yep. So this is season end. Yep. You got 33 chests.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. See?
This is a fantastic. Oh, wow. This is a really fantastic pull.
Gotta tell you, not disappointed.
Well, because here's the thing. What are you comparing this to? You're comparing it to bronze 1, where you could have received 9 chests.
Correct.
So you just received like over 3x of that, 3.5x.
Right. And if you look
and
at
you put in what, a weekend's of work?
Yes. And getting my butt kicked the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't hard. I mean, Icy Flow was in there. I mean, I wonder how many he got, right? So I mean, it was not hard. It was not hard at all.
Okay, hold on. We do need to clarify certain things here though. We were technically bronze, but somehow we started in silver.
Yes. So the way it works is you get
that would never happen.
Season, right? You get the previous season ranking, but since we have one, we started at the lowest, right? So that may happen for all of us, right? Everyone that plays on the implementation of this could start at bronze as well, because we don't have a ranking from the previous iteration of the change, right?
Interesting. I don't think that they're going to do that. I think all the champ players would feel kind of.
Yeah, but again, given what just happened,
true, yeah,
because this is better than a lot of the rewards that I've gotten as as champion.
Well, no, but okay, look at the fact that you're probably going to make champion again, right? So technically, you want to earn champion level decks or chests.
Right. That's why.
Would you be happy spending the next 2 weeks or whatever whenever the season starts, earning bronze level chests?
I wouldn't be happy, but I would understand why.
Sure. Okay. But
so
yeah,
I would be neutral, right? As long as it's happening to everyone, I don't care, right?
Sure.
And even if it was like this, I feel pretty good about this.
Well, to be fair, you would earn 150 chests like that. If you make it back up to champion, the reward shares you're earning for bronze level chests is going to be nothing. You're gonna be maxing. Shoot, actually, this might be better for you. You're gonna be earning like 30 chests a day, super quick.
Right. So again, hard to say, right? But again, if this is the example, if this is the example, we just talked about your raise, right? Getting the new rewards cards. I mean, this is an awesome card, right? 2 of them. A bronze level player, this is what they're gonna get. Like this is gonna help them grow their collections.
How many? You had 35, you said?
33.
33 out of 150 possible.
Yeah.
So,
I would be good with this, right? At the end of the season. So, I mean, there you go. Now, in order for a bronze player to get this many, they're probably gonna have to play a lot more games, right?
Yeah.
So, but again, I mean, this is pretty good.
I mean, again, this is what I'm talking about. Like with the new player experience, it's going to be so much better. You don't just get garbage at the end of the season.
Right. And again, for us, when we climb up, right? I got a lot of potions here. So, quite a few. That's going to disappear in champion, right? Most of those are going to disappear, right? So it'll be more cards, right? And better quality cards consistently.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, like, so all the potions that newer players are getting will incentivize them to buy packs. Newer players, or bronze, I shouldn't say newer, but bronze level players are also going to be receiving DEC again.
Yeah.
And if DEC, and not just like little amounts of DEC, but look at how many chests you open, right? If you're opening way more chests, you're going to be receiving a lot more DEC.
Yep.
So if that ends up being the case, both of those could be incentives or drivers for more pack sales too.
Yep. And again, I mean, if a person's playing in bronze, they've invested $10 on their spell book. How much DEC will it take for them to just in DEC alone, 10,000 DEC or so, and they can get that in one chest, as you've proven, right? So they can completely get their investment back, and now it's pure profit after that.
Agreed. Yeah. I don't know. I'm really excited about this. It's one week, guys, or nine days, however long it's gonna take.
Countdown.
All right, we got a question here for you, Darkestnyte. What is the origin of your IGN? I think you've talked about this before, but if you want to give the brief.
Yeah, so I mean, tons of games. I've been gaming for, how old am I? So I've been gaming for over 40 years. And so I've always played role-playing games, knights, mages typically. So I created Darkestnyte maybe, I think 5-6 years ago. So Darkest, me, and I'm a knight. But it's also Darkestnyte, like Night sometimes, right? It's because I'm always playing late at night and, it's dark outside. I mean, there's so many iterations. It's nothing specific, but it's meant to encompass all of those things, right? However you see the name and whatever you visualize, it all fits. It all works. So sometimes I just feel like I'm Batman.
Well, you know what? Nobody can say that they've seen you and Batman in the same room together.
Ever.
So,
been seen. Or Superman.
Or Superman, for that matter.
So, this was a really good. Like the more
I'm happy with that.
The more I'm like, whoa. And so I can't wait to see at the higher levels what that's going to look like. It's going to be crazy.
Oh gosh, like if you're going to be opening like thousands of DEC in your chest, it's going to be fun.
Oh.
So wait, hold on. Diamond is a 16x. I mean, that's a lot.
I mean, like even gold, right? So these are bronze. I mean, we can do the.
Can you do the quick math? It's hard for me to see just because I don't have the full screen thing up. But quick math, like how much DEC do you have in there? Is it at least 100?
So 11, 5. So it's 20, 26, 30, 32, 46, 72. Yeah, almost 100. Yeah, 100 DEC. So
just in DEC alone, you would put, what is that, 1600 DEC then with a 16x in diamond?
There you go. Yeah. So $1.60. So that's $1.60.
Yeah.
And then the cards. So Venere's 5 cents. We have no price discovery on these guys yet, but I would say for a rare, let's go the same thing, right? Let's just double it early on, so 10 cents. Your race is at $1 right now.
Is your race at well, actually, some of the prices have gone up on these cards, so
yep.
I think Crystal Smith's close to 10 cents already. So
I mean, so yeah, so I mean, so there you go, right? So
yeah.
And then it'll drop, right? It'll drop back down.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen, I mean, and it's something you can probably predict, we're going to get more of these cards, right? So that would be the reason why the team has release new rewards cards, right? Because they know that this new reward system is going to increase the reward rate of cards, right? But they're still finite. We're just going to burn through them faster, which is what we all wanted, right?
Actually, I have an opposing theory to that.
Okay.
And it may sound bearish, but I'm going to explain why I think it's bullish long term. I think that with the CP requirements or like not CP, but the card ownership requirements, we are going to see a massive decline in bots or earnable bots, right?
Sure.
And I actually think that we're going to see less rewards hit the system initially.
Sure.
And that supply shock is going to raise prices. But I think the raised prices is going to bring increased interest. And it won't be until we start to add players at higher levels or in larger amounts that all of a sudden more rewards are hitting the thing. Or it could be one of those things where maybe we've seen the bottom on some of these rewards cards, right? At least the ones that are currently in print. Yeah. And if supply becomes much less available and demand stays the same with the current player base, because the bots don't have any demand, right? So the demand stays the same because the same people here want them and are trying to level them up. Then I don't know. We could see the price start to tick up for a while, at least on the older rewards cards. The new rewards cards, like you said, are going to go through, a specific, what's that called? Not specific. They're going to go through some price discovery mode.
Absolutely. So here's the thing, right? But there's one event that always creates a price increase, and that is the end of printing that reward card. Always.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there's going to be lots of ups and downs while they're available. But the moment it won't even take that long, right? When we hit 90% printed, you're going to see something that's going to blow your mind. Yeah. And because people are going to start saying, oh, I waited too long. Let me get these cards now while they're available. But across 300,000 people, 400,000 people, all saying the same thing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We've done this before. We've gone to the marketplace and said, hey, what if 5 people decided they wanted to max something out? It would clear out everything that's on the marketplace.
Yeah.
Right. So I guarantee you will have more than 5.
I agree. This is an interesting thing here. Would love to get your long-term thoughts on this Darkestnyte. So down the road, when CL creeps towards Wild League territory, I imagine that CP will be increased for Chaos Legion while new expansions hold the current CP levels. My initial thoughts on that are that they're just going to keep reducing CP for newer sets rather than changing the CP of Chaos Legion. But what do you think based on what you've seen?
If I understand the question, right? So this is the same problem, or not problem. It's the rotation out, right? So things, even in Magic, we have that, right? So where after 18 months, I think it is, certain sets roll out of standard, and if you play modern, if that's what you play, then you can play those cards still. But the push, I think, from the team and for all of us will be to play the current set, right? So they'll continue to have that desire to get us into playing the new sets of cards. However, they've always decreased the CP value of all the cards. If you look at all the alpha cards, they were ridiculously high with points, right? But then as each set came out, I think it cut it in half, or there was some calculation there, right? So
yeah,
it would definitely decrease. So if you look at cards in beta, they were worth less. If you looked at cards that were in Untamed, they were worth less, and so on and so on.
So beta, this is not the market.
I don't know if that answers your question. I think I understood where you were going. We will, and again, just given the card set we have now, eventually we will be pushed into a Wild, because eventually, 4 years from now, Chaos Legion will be the old cards, right? And then it'll be other new set.
Okay, I just realized I'm like so behind on chat. So let's go ahead and jump here. Chuny, I haven't tried Rank Golem yet. I've been in touch with I think his name is Gene. So I may give it a try, but I haven't actually done it yet. Same. I'm too sentimental when it comes to cards. If I like a card, even if it's not good, I'll figure out a way to make a strategy around it.
Exactly what I was talking about. I do the same thing, dude.
Riftwing Supremacy. Hey, there's good reason to have a strategy behind that. That card has single-handedly won me some games with Backfire. Someone saying a reprint of Jotun. So the thing is, in the most recent town hall, Aggro said that they are not planning to do any reprints. What they may do is go for like he said specifically, I reserve the right to do like a 10-year or 20-year anniversary around certain cards. So I would say the earliest we are would be like a, I don't know, 6 years away from seeing some of the alpha stuff again.
And it'll be promos, right? They'll definitely they'll do the same thing. Yes. I mean, I think they'll do the same thing they did with Waka. I think it'll be something like that, right?
Yeah. All right. I have should I buy Max Kron for 1,200?
That's pricey.
That is
There's
pricey.
so much you can do with that 1,200, and to invest. In my opinion, not financial advice, but for $1,200,
you could be well on your way to maxing out a good Chaos Legion deck.
Absolutely. And in fact, that's what and I have been really talking about is when I have actually all the cards that I delegated, they're in a set, and it's all of what I feel are critical cards in Chaos Legion. Last week it was $5,200. This week it's 8,100, right, or 8,200. But $1,200 is a major portion of a Chaos Legion deck that'll allow you to be competitive. I think you would agree that Chaos Legion is competitive at the higher levels.
Yeah. All right, so just want to say a quick hi to Will's here, Games World, Brave Tofu, Marlon. What is going on? All right, we have a very this is going to be the first time this is happening, but we have another guest to bring on the show. Darkestnyte, you ready? I think this might be the first time you guys are chatting, so let's give a warm welcome to Godziel. What's going on?
Hi.
Hello. What's up, dude?
Hey, Darkestnyte.
Yeah, this is a pleasure.
Oh, some of my favorite people in the same room and stream together. Let's go.
What time?
Sorry to crash.
No.
11 p.m. in the night.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. I was just done watching like the Spanish Grand Prix. So I thought I could jump on to chat with you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it. So, Godziel, did you get a chance to hop into any of the test server this weekend?
Yeah, I did. I played a couple of games on the QA server. But what I saw was mainly like a bit of like the aesthetics changes, like the bars and stuff. I didn't really play games because I'm in bronze. I think everyone kind of starts at bronze, right? So I think I'm a bit late to the party. I saw some kind of a competition going between you guys.
Well, that's in the regular thing, and we should have had a competition over the weekend in in the test server too, Darkestnyte. Although you absolutely crushed me.
Well, we still can.
Oh, there's a new season. Oh, the seasons are only lasting like 2 days.
Yes.
At a time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but my cuts looks trashy in the test server for some reason. But I was opening the fake packs on the test server for fun, and that was fun.
They gave us 50 million credits, and I burned through all of them. And really, the reason that I did it is I wanted to see what is the likelihood of getting gold foil legendaries and see if I can bang at least one out. So my feeling is if you want a gold legendary, go buy it off the marketplace. Do not hope that you get it in a pack at all. Yeah.
Yep, for sure. I think I opened 1,000 packs and I only had one gold foil legendary in the test server. Yep.
Actually, I'll show you what I got if you guys are interested in seeing that. Hold on 1 second. So I thought it was pretty interesting. So let's just filter on that. Chaos Legion, we want gold, and we want legendary. So those are all from using all of the 50 million. See, I only have 150,000 left, but they gave us 50 million. These are what I got from.
Wow.
Some of them are leveled up pretty well, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's really good. It looks awesome.
But I had to spend $50 million. No, that's not. No, it's 500,000. What
50
is
million
50,000.
credits. No, it's 5,000,
50.
I think.
$50,000.
One
Yeah,
credit I think is
$50,000.
0.1 pennies.
Yes.
Or something
So $50,000, I think it is.
Is it 50,000?
Maybe.
Of
Are you sure it's not 5,000?
$5,000 is only 1,000 packs.
Yeah. So I burned more than
Oh,
that.
you're right. 50.
50,000.
I would spend that right now to get.
You're
this.
right. $50,000.
Yeah. So
That's insane. That's how much money they gave us in the test server. I guess makes you feel.
So, yeah. Now, is that $50,000 worth of cards?
Not right now.
No.
Exactly. Not right now.
Not right now.
Sure, it will be. It will be. Anyway, so but it was fun to get these cards, and I was actually having a race to see who would be maxed out first. So it was between Uriel and Lyra the Dark,
Ah, I love both of those cards.
and I think they're the arch nemesis of each other. So
I'm trying to see. So wait, you didn't get any of them maxed out, right?
no,
After 50,000 packs. That's kind of crazy to me.
Yep, close, got close, but
Sorry, not 50,000 packs. $50,000 worth of packs. And were you buying the potions necessary for them too?
yeah. So I still have. Let's see, open. So hold on. Yeah, so we're all out of packs. Yes, but I still have 6,000 potions of each. 6,500.
Gotcha.
Hey, it was fun, but it was fun to. It was really fun to just open up the packs, as you know. Godziel says it was fun, right? So,
I part of me was like, oh, should I like make some content? Because I bought a bunch of packs, but I didn't even open them. I was just like, let me play with what I have.
oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, how much would people enjoy me watching me like open 2,000 fake packs?
It was fun for me to do it, so I'm sure it'll be fun for people to watch. I mean, it was something we would
It'll be
never.
fun for me to do. I'm still gonna do it at some point over the next couple of days, but
It was awesome.
So, Godzilla, do you have any other thoughts on? Well, actually, we don't need to just restrict this to the test server, but just with everything going on, we have the validator nodes coming up. Based on maybe what you've heard from Darkestnyte previously on the stream or other streams, like,
Yeah.
you have any thoughts on what's going on?
Yeah, looking at the rewards, it seems like the general consensus or the general feeling that I got this is that bonuses is gonna play a big part. And it strikes to me that okay, guild bonuses are gonna matter more now because it's like the compounding effect is just gonna be just more parabolic, more exponential, together with the alpha beta bonus as well as the gold foil bonus. I noticed over the weekend the gold foil cards kind of had some pretty high increases, like 50 to even double the price of some gold foil cards, especially for like the water splinter and the earth or nature splinter. And that made me think like, oh, I think I should make a move now. So what I did was I sold 200 vouchers, took the money and upgraded my nature deck to obsidian level 6 gold foil, and I bought Tassa to level 5. So I pretty much, because I was thinking like in the new reward system, I think it's going to be a pain to when you have a splinter as the quest, but you don't have a deck for it. And the question comes down to, do you have a well-diversified deck? You know, in the past you could, rely on just maybe 2 splinter and go all in on that. And then because people find that the daily quest was not worth it, they just focus on the win rate, the DEC on the rank battles, and just forgo the quest. And if I complete it, I complete it. If not, I'll let it go. What I want was the daily DEC as well as the end of season rewards. But when I look at the new format, I was like, every day counts and it's going to stack up and accumulate very quickly. So I thought, instead of going for diamond, I would want to have a well diversified gold max deck. So I thought, Tassa, I've overlooked Tassa all this while, and that's like the last splinter for me. So I thought, with her being like one of the cheapest summoner, and then the fire cards are relatively cheap, right? So I took a bit of a blind faith, like just a leap of faith and just say, okay, I'll do it and see how it goes. I hope with the new Fire Legendary coming out, that's pretty cool. That card would be a necessary card, especially with like Blast rule set. And then Tasa will come in beautifully. So I'm like, kind of like looking in the future and say that, okay, maybe it's time to buy Tasa. I hope it pays out in the future. And yeah, I spent about 400 to 500 USD over the weekend, maxing out some cards, placing some bids on Pig Monsters. And I'm addicted to playing again. Like after I max out Obsidian as well as like Tasa to level 5, I enjoy playing so much more.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, because like my win rate has improved, and I could see like decks that I used to face off like Fire Mirror Match. I was like, I'm gonna lose. Like my Tasa is only level 3. I'm gonna lose. But now it's like, hey, my cards are better, and I'm addicted to playing. I think, yeah, I just kept playing the entire afternoon today, so it's fun.
Yeah, I think you and Darkestnyte probably single-handedly moved the market with the amount that you guys just smash bought this past weekend. So prices are up quite a bit across the board, which is good to see. Darkestnyte, just taking this back to the way that the rewards are going to be paid out on a seasonal level. So quick question for you. Have you ever made it to Champion 2 or Champion 1? You have. Okay. So the thing is, like at Champion 3, you get 80 chests. Champion 2, you get 120 chests. My question for you now is, if you have to work the entire season to get that 80, 120, or even 150 chests, which I feel like is going to be significantly tougher given the nature of like how like Diamond is, like would that incentivize you at all to maybe stay in Diamond rather than moving up to Champion?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay, so you're in it for the competition. You want to be up there.
Yeah, I do. And again, because the rewards are so much more significant, I'll be honest with you. I think the higher I go, the less I'll have to work to get those rewards, right? And it's going to be great games, great competition. But if I stay at a lower level, I have to play more, right? To realize probably not such good chests, right? I think it's the quality of the chests that are really going to matter, and the percentages that you can gain, right? If again, Diamond is not twice as good. I mean, the Champion is not twice as good as Diamond, right? The multiplier is 48 times, right? I think it's 16 for Diamond. Am I right?
16 for Diamond and 48 for Champion.
So so there you go. So that's a pretty big multiplier there.
Yeah.
So I think, again, just based on what we just saw for opening up the bronze chest, just imagine if we were opening up Champion level chest right now, what that would look like, right? What that would feel like the first time you got a gold legendary, right?
That's
incredible.
That's a good point. Sorry, I want to bring up the little mix that they have, and then actually, sorry, go ahead.
Have you opened up, Godziel? Have you opened up your end of season rewards yet on the test server?
No, I've not logged in for quite a bit today, but I've only played like 3 or 4 games in the test server, so I don't think I'll get anything.
You might have still won something though.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? You only played a few games, right? It'll be interesting to see what you get.
Okay, maybe I should log in and take a look. Yeah, you guys go ahead. Let me figure this out.
Okay, go ahead and take a look at that. All right, I want to share this Darkestnyte because, okay, so the numbers actually aren't terrible to me. So let's say you finish in Champion, right? Yep. Or not finish, but like you're going for Champion level chests. This actually isn't bad. The jump from Diamond to Champion, it just means you kind of have to win twice as many games in Diamond to achieve the same level of success in Champion. So for each Champion chest you go for, if I'm understanding this right, you would get roughly half the chest or half the reward shares win in Diamond. And for someone like you who loves to play, like doing an extra win per chest isn't I mean, sure, yes, it's restrictive, but you're playing because you love the game. So,
but here's the thing, right? These numbers I don't think they represent any bonuses. So
fair.
now you add in the bonus, right? So our guild, we get, hold on, let's just look at that real quick. So right now with our lodge, we get hold on, info.
Is it 15?
So we're
12?
15% just on I'm sorry for that there. We get 15% just from that, right? For the gold, and I've been again getting, focusing on getting gold cards and using some of the older beta cards, right? There's another percentage for each card I use. So if so one of the cards I just recently bought, I had the the gold Waka, I have the gold Harclaw, which I picked up.
Oh yeah,
right. And then any other gold cards in the current set that are useful, that could be a significant bonus right there. And if I decide not to use the gold Harclaw, then I have Lord of Darkness, which will give me the same bonus. So there's going to be a lot of bonuses here, right? So instead of getting that 71, shared per win, it might be closer to 95,000.
Yeah. Well, in champion, but again, I'm assuming that in the same way that we're kind of doing right now, it might be a struggle for you to get back into champion right away. So if you spend the first couple of days in diamond, you'll probably still jump up to like diamond 2 or diamond 3 rather quickly.
Sure.
And therefore, you'd be earning more than the 35 or 34,000 per win. Significantly more.
Yeah. So what I've noticed though, and I think everyone is preparing for the reward cards. I've seen player names that I haven't ever seen before, right? I think people are coming back into the game, getting ready for this. Also, the competition has been fierce, and it's always fierce at the beginning of the season. This season feels much more difficult than probably any other season I've played.
Well, to think about it, this is the last time you're going to get an easy 150,000 or 80, 120 or 150 chest, right? Like, so where you can only put maybe a day or two in of work and then call it a day for the rest of the season.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if once I get to champion, this will be the last time that I stop, right? And who knows, I might continue on to see how further in I get. Not sure yet. Yeah. My goal is to beat you first.
All right. Well, I need to put the heat on you right now. I think I'm about 300 rating points behind right now.
Yeah, which is nothing, right? You have a good run, and that's it. Right?
It could happen quickly, but like I said, I keep running into that wall around 3,200. So hopefully I can break through it at some point. We're now approaching the halfway point of the season, so we're almost there.
Yeah. Yeah, and usually now it calms down right around now, and usually I think between day 5 and 3 days left, it gets a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So Harris had a good question, which I think Godziel did a good job answering in the chat. But Godziel, I don't know if you want to just expand on it at all.
Oh yeah, no. Now you just can't go ham and upgrade guild buildings. You have to go through the brawls, and you earn maybe from 10 crowns to maybe 50, even 100 crowns in brawls. So it's a long process to get your buildings upgraded. Every building requires DC and crowns. So it's gonna take some time, so you just can't have like, even if you have a ton of DC, you just can't like max guilds and then start recruiting people. And the funny thing is, I saw Bulldog posting in the guild chat on Discord. He put buying guild today. He was buying a guild. He was looking for a guild to buy. So maybe that's related to the question you're asking, Harris. Like, maybe that's why you see maybe players or, content creators or like whales or like OG players who wants to have their own guild but do not want to start from scratch. Maybe there is a price and a value to the crowns that have already been earned. So it's not maybe that's worth something in the future, guilds. And because Aggro ever said that guilds aren't supposed to be cheap, it's not actually meant like for everyone. They do not expect there to be like tons and tons of guild because it's meant to be costly. And now you will see that it's costly in terms of monetary as well as time. So yeah,
you actually need to put the blood, sweat, and tears into it too, rather than just the money.
Absolutely.
Yep.
How long have you been in our current guild, Darkestnyte? The Archmage Warriors?
I joined a little over a year ago.
A little over a year ago. And how long have you been in your guild, Godziel?
I think since January. I think we brought one another, right? Darkestnyte, are you the guild leader of AAD?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm one of the co-leaders.
Founding members.
Not even a founding member. I joined. I think they've been around since 2019, and I just joined them because of the name. Right, I had no idea they were as cool as they were. Super smart guys, and they are to this game. Like, you have no idea. Like, they are super dedicated. So we just kind of clicked. I think the thing for a guild, the most important thing for a guild, is having people that participate. Right.
Yeah.
We usually we do a purge every month and a half or so. And if people aren't active and participating, we just said, nope, we'll make room for people that want to participate. And we'll take the hit in ranking at any time, right? But getting quality people to participate is, I think, better than anything else that we have.
Yeah, I think I'm having like trouble recruiting like players who have the ranking. Having the ranking is easy, the easy part. No, players are in 3,000, 3,002, 3,004 rating. But when it comes, it may not translate to Brawl performance as well as the cards you need for Brawl. Certain Brawl cards are so important, and they can only be gotten through, the Gladius pack. And I think the community is quite slow to realize how important the Brawl cards are. I still feel that people are lagging behind the brawling and guild, And recently I've just like coaxed like 3 of my friends, like, hey guys, you really got to start brawling to get those cards. And then they were like, it's okay, when I got time, I would just brawl. When I told them like the brawl is just like almost once a week. And when they got started, they got hooked because you realize that you get to earn cards that money can't buy, and you can't transfer them. And the feeling of getting a Brawl card, like a Brawl Legendary, like Gladius Legendary, it feels like way better than Chaos Legion, I feel. Like, because these are cards that will give you a huge advantage in Brawl, and you are really, winning. It's like a PvP directly that will benefit your entire guild, and the merits that you earn, the crowns that you earn, will just benefit the guild, and everyone gets to rip over open packs every week together, and that's really fun. But I think the players are slow to catch on this Brawl fun,
Yeah,
I absolutely agree with everything you just said. In fact, to your point, my son just got his first legendary Brawl card, Gladiator card, and it is a Tatiana, the legendary neutral card, which is, when I saw it, I said, really?
Yeah.
And I've never even seen it used before.
I don't even have it as well. I don't even have a single legendary Gladius card.
If you want to bring it up,
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, absolutely incredible.
So Tatiana. There you go.
Look at that. That is incredible.
That's insane. An insane card. Like, wow.
And you can use it in any or almost any brawl, right? That'll be definitely the front position, right? And then get a heal in the back of it, and maybe get some protect.
Equalizer. Yeah, in Equalizer game, this would just win the game by itself, I think. Like, it would just probably win on its own. It's just so sick.
And then later, if it goes up levels, right? I mean, that thing. I mean, it might be years before you see a max level of that, but it, that's a card money can't buy.
I think that's kind of the beauty of like the guild and the brawl system, is that you can't really buy your way to the top. Nobody can just come in and, you know, spend $1,000 or tens of thousands of dollars to like get the cards that they need. Like you can do that in the regular game, but if you want to be competitive in brawls, which again makes me so bullish about what they can do with brawls in the future, if they can create some like awesome competition here, because then it's not going to be like, it will never just be who can come in and spend the most money. It'll be who can come in and has been around for a while and has the account with the brawl or the, you know, the brawler deck or the Gladius deck, I should say, that can really make a difference in some of these games.
So imagine having streaming really real esports, gladiatorial games, right? And can't buy your way to the top. You have to have, through blood, sweat, and tears, put in the effort. And I think those will be the true celebrities of the game, right?
Yeah, like the past brawl, like I participate in the gold foil bronze fray, and you know, because I've only been brawling for like 4 months or so, my collection is pretty limited, especially it's limited to gold foil cards, right? And the last brawl I managed to beat someone who was 21 million CP power.
Feels good,
and another guy who was 6 million CP power. The win is just, you just can't describe. Like in normal rank battles, I would just lose to them. I'll be like, yeah, that's normal, you know, like I don't have a chance. I don't have a fighting chance. But in brawl, you have, because especially in bronze where the level is capped, right? Then tactics and strategy really can give you a glimmer of hope. And when you pull through, wow, the win is sweet, the victory is sweet, and it's really fun. Yeah.
So we'll see what the future holds for this. And they are going to work on this, right? They're going to do some updates to it. But even as it is now, it's still a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, even just there's SPS set aside, right, as part of like the distribution method. So at some point in time, there will be SPS distributed to Guild Brawl winners or Guild Brawl participants, I should say. So leveling up and trying to create, whether it's leveling up your own Gladius deck through guilds, or whether it's leveling up the guild that you're in or helping to level up the guild that you're in, I think is going to be really important. So I know Godziel, you are the leader or one of the co-leaders of your guild, at least. What have you seen in terms of I guess guild participation, guild interest over the last, you know, maybe month or two? Do you have any insights from that? You know, like, so I recently joined AAD, so it's been fun to see how that's kind of grown and even churned over, right? So Darkestnyte wasn't kidding about the purge. Like we were a top 10 guild. He sold me on us being a top 10 guild when I joined, and then all of a sudden we're like at 30 something, and I was like, well, how did this happen?
Well, we dropped 60. We were in the 60s.
Or we dropped to the 60s, and I was like, wait, did I make the wrong decision? What happened? But it's really like there's.
Do you want to come over?
No,
we're not there anymore. So
I'm happy where I'm at. But I'm just curious if you've seen anything, and if you've had to go through these purges just because of like inactivity, and how the conversation in the guild has been, because that's probably been the biggest thing for me, is just kind of like the sub discussion that happen, or like what were the sub communities is what Weirdbeard was talking about, right? Where it's just like you have a bunch of people who are like interested or, you know, similar mindsets within the game, and just a place to discuss that.
Yeah, I think for the Pig Monsters Archon, which the guild that I like sort of manages, months back it was just a feeder guild. You know, as a feeder guild, there is no co-leader, there's no general in the guild. It's just any Pig Monsters users get to join in, and you can just brawl and play until someone steps up to run the guild. So when I joined, I was just a member. It was a feeder guild with just all sorts of players, some with cards, some just ran, some everyone was just, you know, all over the place. So when I took over the guild and start running it as like a co-leader, then I had to go through like an entire purge and recruitment exercise, which was difficult because I would say everyone else there was more senior than me in terms of the time being in the guild. But I stepped up to run the guild because I see, you know, that there is potential. So I had to do like a slow purge because I respect the seniority in terms of how long they have been in the guild and the contribution to the guild in terms of past brawls, as well as the the crowns that they have contributed. So I wasn't able to like, okay, you don't make the mark, out you go. And I think that would be cruel and unfair to these players who have contributed in one way or another. So the purge for me was over a period of time of about 4 months, where I put a base requirement after about a month, saying that the minimum power will be silver 3, silver 2, because I want players who have at least some cards. At least you can participate in the novice phrase or the bronze phrase to contribute to the guild, because we do not need you to pay a single DEC to the guild. So the least you could do is participate. So that was the bottom line. And then as I was playing in Gold League, mainly in Gold and Diamond, right? Then I start to invite players that I come up against that have a decent collection of cards but do not have a guild. And I start to invite them in, test them out. If they are in, first is I want to know if they're interested to brawl. If you're not interested to brawl, then there's no point to be in the guild in the first place. So, and then the recruitment was really slow, like maybe one player a week. And now the guild is still not max, right? Still 20 out of 21. And because the phrase we were brawling in tier 3, and there were only like I think 12 phrase or 13 phrase. So 21 members fighting for 13 phrase every week. There you have to leave out some people time to time. There needs to be some rotation. So people management is not easy, to be honest, because it's hard to please everyone, and everyone wants to participate, because on average you get to open like one Gladius pack a week, and who doesn't want that, right? Just by participating, you get to open a free pack, and that's like power, free CP to players who are not putting so much into the game. It's just basically free CP. So there are demands or expectations that I have to meet as a Pig Monster Guild to Javi, the co-founder of Pig Monsters, right? So I always look up to the other Pig Monster Guild, like Pig Monsters Premier, Pig Monsters Champ, who are fighting against the top guilds like Immortal Gods. Even AAD used to be like even much higher in terms of ranking. Team Possible, Hyper Splinter. These are like some of the top guilds, like Legendary Wyverns, Dragons. So that's where I want to get to, but it's not. There's no fast track to the top, because it's very difficult to recruit good players as well as players who participate. If you are a whale and then you have like max collection, but you don't have time to play the game, so even if I recruit you, you don't brawl, then what's the point, right? Because players who that is like, I got no time to brawl, I don't even have time to play rank. So the fun, but I see a shift in the attitude of the players in my guild, where in the past everyone was really silent in the chat, in the guild chat. Everyone was just doing their thing, doing their own rank battles. We do not even talk. But now I have my guild chat is like buzzing almost every day. People are starting to open up a little bit more, because the game is international, right? I have players from South America, Asia, Southeast Asia, and language barrier could be a thing, which I also understand. But as players get to know one another and open up, I see my players and members talking about validator nodes, and as well as questions like, should I buy this card? Should I invest in this? Should I upgrade this splinter? And overall, I think the chemistry of the guild has improved over the last few months, and I think that is like a healthy sign for the game itself.
I agree 100%. And I think, it's strange. Like, we're experiencing the same thing. I think in the past, and I've seen this in other games too, the people that you invite are actually bots. So I play another game called Mir 4. And when I created my guild, it was flooded with bots, like literally flooded. And then I met some real players, and they said, hey, maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to join us. And they are, again, one of the top guilds, very similar to Archmage Arias. But we have a blast. We have a lot of fun. The interaction is there. Discord is important, right? They want people to participate in Discord. They want people to participate in chat and interact and do things. And when you have that happen, the overall effectiveness of the guild rises dramatically.
Yep.
Right. And then you can start building, you start, focusing on your buildings and getting more players. I think there's this critical mass that occurs, and then people will come to you, right? With the reward changes, being in a guild is going to be critical, right? It's to get that bonus. You're going to want to belong to a guild that is established. Doesn't necessarily need to be a top guild, but it needs to be established and active. And I think you'll get better and better players because of it.
Yeah, and I think it's just human nature where better players attract better players, not just in terms of collection, but also like attitude and the attitude towards the game and how you approach the game itself. And you are attracted to not just power, but rather the community at times where, it's like, I think like what After Sound said, like, why did he join AADs? It's just that it's not just that the guild attracted me, it's more like the community within the guild attracted me. And because Darkestnyte's inside, I want to join him. There's like this attraction that pulls me in. Yeah. And then there's also this thing of law of averages where, as you recruit better players, everyone just improves at the same time. You pull along players that are not that, because, for example, if I'm just a silver player, right? I can't contribute much to my guild. But as my guild, recruits better players, gold league, diamond league, gold foil players, we get better rewards, we get better merits. I, as a silver player, get to open more Gladius pack, and my Gladius collection improves. I can then contribute more to my guild again, and this lifts the guild's quality up. Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, I think when you joined After Sound, and you see what happens when new players join, right? They all get, freaked out about the brawls, and they're like, hey, I want to get the brawls, and what do I always tell them every time? Like, dude, just relax, take it easy, have fun.
Yeah.
Get to know the rest of the guild, and then kind of figure out you don't have to win every brawl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Well, unless you name Ardenek, then yes. But
no, it's
I mean, she's a beast in the brawls, right? Yeah. But even if you lose, like it's super chill. We're just here to play a game. We're having fun. But and there are brawls that we get pummeled, and there are others that do really good, right? It's all randomized, and you got to do the best you can. Right. But it's still fun regardless. And you're still going to get some merits, and you're still going to get those crowns. So even if you have a bad, brawl, you're still going to be able to progress. The progression is what's important.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's we're not going to out the guild member here, but it was quite funny because we had a newer member who had never participated in a brawl before, and I can't even count the number of messages. It was like, am I doing this right? Did I sign up right? Did I miss it? Like, what's going on?
Crazy. Yeah. But again, it's the same questions that you asked when you came, because you hadn't done brawls before, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's the same.
I'd like to think I'd like to think that I was like more excited than nervous, but
yeah, you're super excited. Yeah. but that's the thing, right? So that is it again. And so for example, you're about to get assigned a gold only phrase slot, right? So you're just gonna have to figure that out.
Oh, am I?
I'm gonna put you in now.
You're gonna sign? Oh gosh.
Oh dear. So put him in the bronze so we might meet in future.
Oh, actually, silver.
It's silver. I don't even have the cards for this Darkestnyte.
We'll figure it out.
Oh dear.
We'll figure it out.
I mean, I'll play it with whatever I have.
So you're in. So now you're in the brawl, and we'll just see how it goes.
Darkestnyte assigned me the brawl. Awesome. Okay.
I had one new member who joined us last week, and then he messaged me in Discord, and it was like, I'm so keen to join the guild. I know I'm ready. I can play the gold foil phrase. I'm like, wow, great. We got a volunteer for gold foil phrase. I'm like, okay, join us and let's go. And he was talking about, he was so excited, and then he has experience and stuff. I was like, okay, let's go, rock and roll. And then the first pro he joined, he was like trashed like 1-5, and he was like silent. I think he was
Everybody gets humbled in this game, that's for sure.
yeah. I think in brawling in tier 1 and tier 2, it's a huge jump, and I hope that it gets even out a little bit more. I think tier 2 is really like the top 50 guilds that are all in, and even like even pick Archon is like 26, but we get hammered so badly. We hardly break into top 4. Like, it's my hope to even finish on the podium, like top 3, but the ranking of guild don't mean anything, to be honest. Like, you can be ranked 100 but you get top in tier 2, and tier 2 is like a whole different ball game. So I think it needs to be a bit ironed out more. If not, it's really hard to progress, especially for the lower league. But at the recent Brawl reward update did push more guilds to tier 2, which is a healthy thing. I hope more guilds move up, so that as you move up, the playing fields kind of get diluted more and more and more. It will get easier and easier. But if everyone doesn't move and just stay at tier 1, then the system would just keep continue to be like that. So yeah, I do hope that somehow more guilds move up to tier 2, and everyone benefits at the end of the day.
If you look at the rewards for the Brawl system, I think this is going to be an evolution of years, not months, right? So we will be talking about this conversation 4 or 5 years from now. Oh, remember when Brawls, everybody was all consolidated into those first 2 tiers? And again, I think that this is a system by which we will have true celebrities in the game, right? I think there'll be some things that they'll introduce over time that will push those really elite players. If you look at the lore, right? We're all in an arena, fighting for prizes and glory, right? Well, we get the prizes. Where's the glory? And so I think this is the part that will start.
I can see like guilds having guild versus guild battles over land, ownership of land for a certain period of time, and that would be like like invasion, taking territories, and then maybe even working with other guilds to how you want to invade and how you want to conquer the lands and stuff. There's so much potential that you can expand the game, and collaboration. I played games like Clash of Clans, that there's so much you can work out so much coordination, and the guilds there are like 30 people. Sometimes you have hundreds of people going for war at the same time, and everyone could just communicate regardless of nationality, going for wars that last for more than a day. And that's so much potential to this. It's going to be fun. I'm pretty sure it will be fun.
Imagine assigning a card to be designated to you as your avatar in such a war, right? One card, you pick one card. After Sound, you're somebody, I'm somebody, Godziel, you're somebody, and then we're all, on a field of battle as literally playing that character.
Yeah, the evolution of it makes me actually more excited than like the evolution of tournaments. I think tournaments will be like these fun one-off things that will be for folks who are trying to make some extra capital, and they could be like big esports. But the more we talk about it here, and the ideas that you both are throwing out, makes me very excited about where like guilds could go in the future from like a team perspective. Or like I can't wait until there's like true guild rivalries. Whether that's over land, whether that's maybe even something like head-to-head brawls in the future, where that could be something really interesting too.
So there already are guild rivalries, and everyone in the guild, our guild, knows. Oh, I hold a grudge. And I just can't let something go. And I'm sure there are people in the guild that say, "Hey, man, just let it go." But I can't. And so we have rivalries, and it just is what it is, right? So.
There will always be politics when it comes to like guild versus guild, or team versus team. You have like poaching of players, and then players who decide to split up on their own to create a sub guild. In every game that I play, there's always such dramas. it will always happen, and
But that's
sometimes
what we
it
live
blows out
for.
of- Yeah, man, it's
That's
gonna
what we
be
live for.
amazing. Like,
Right.
can you imagine? Like, yeah, just so much.
I honestly think once guilds become monetized in a certain way, and I know that that word has like a stigma to it, but like once there are rewards attached to it, and potentially even not just like, you know, what Darkestnyte was saying, like not just prizes but glory, right? So if there's going to be
Bragging
something there,
rights.
bragging rights, like I can very much see and am excited for the day when like that poaching will happen, or like very heavy recruitment. Like we're all recruiting now, but we're kind of just like, you know, you want to come join our guild, like here are some of the benefits. Like in the future, like I can just imagine this, you know, again, my best reference is going to be like regular sports now, just because that's the world I'm in rather than esports. But it's just like, hey, you know, like this guy's a really good player. Do you think we can sign him for a couple of seasons? We'll give him a signing bonus of 100,000 DEC if he agrees to play the next 4 seasons with us, right?
Yep.
Like, or
That's
the
gonna
next 4 guild brawls with
Yeah.
us. That's going to be crazy.
That's going to happen.
Because
Yeah.
private messaging is not available now in the game. That's the important. Once that's on the game, it will happen for sure. Because you can just PM like, hey, you know, come join us now. You know, we do this how many times a week, and there's so much more to earn. And then that's when people start moving around, when private messaging starts.
Yep. Because we get join requests all the time. So right now we have 3 slots left, right? But there's a process. Like the people that you see that come into the guild, we evaluate them and we look at, you know, card collection. And what's the most important criteria for us is the desire to grow your collection.
Yeah.
Right. Like most people, like, you know, again, we have, you know, millions of power, and we delegate fairly freely, but the rule is you can't ask for delegation, right? Don't ask. We can see everything, and we delegate based on the fact that we think a person has potential and they're actively growing their collection. After that, I mean, we don't really care what anyone does, but you have to have the same level of commitment that we have to the game. And again, we're all in, as in as I think anyone can be. So we have, you know, great expectations for the game. In fact, we're all going to go to Splinterfest, or at least we're talking about it. So that's going to be super cool. We're really looking forward to that.
That'll be fun.
And so, you know, an opportunity to meet in person.
So just then a quick message for all of the folks out there. It doesn't really matter what league you're playing in, even if you're in the smaller leagues. Like you have 2 guilds leaders or co-leaders here on this stream right now that actively recruit, that are looking around and trying to, you know, like Darkestnyte. I don't even know how you found me, but you know, it's one of those things where there are probably going to be people either now or even in the near future that are looking at like, hey, who are the tournament winners in like bronze and silver? Like, are these like, and if they don't have the cards, can I, as Darkestnyte, you said, can I be the patron of them, right? Like, would they be high performers in a guild brawl because they know the strategy and they just need the tools? And so for specific brawls, I can delegate them, or people from the guild can delegate. Like there's going to be a lot of that happening in the future, I think.
I love the fact that you use that term patron.
Oh, you use it, so I'm taking it.
Well, but again, it has a different connotation to me as opposed to when you say scholarships, also, right?
Sponsorship,
like and sponsorships, like a patron means someone that will that you'll have a targeted investment in, and hopefully that they will then go off and do the same thing for someone else, right? And it's that targeted investment, I think, that we're going to start to see a lot more of. Because again, if you're a patron of somebody that's a super cool, excellent player, they may, and I saw somebody, David Dickinson, say, hey, I'll sign the Steph Curry Splinterland. Well, maybe you are investing in that person before they became famous, right? And the benefits will be there, not just for you, but for them as well. So
no, definitely. All right, hold on. Let's catch up on the chat here. Are you guys okay on time? I want to make sure I'm respectful.
Hey man, I got plenty of coffee still. Well, maybe a little cool, but that's okay.
If you want to go run and grab more coffee, I mean, I might even do the same, and we could do that. So, all right. Okay, quick. I need just like five word answers here. Cora or Tatiana?
Tatiana, easy.
What about you?
I would say Cora, because I think she's like super necessary in brawls. Easier to get. I think she's epic.
You went
but
way over
she's
the
a
5 words,
must.
but
Must have. 2
All right.
words. Must have.
Must have.
Okay.
Cora,
So I want a
must have.
couple of words too. I think Tatiana because she's neutral. That's
Neutral.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that's a big deal.
Okay, that's 5.
All right. Oh, this is a good question here. Don't think too hard about it. What is your least favorite card?
To play against or to play?
Let's go actually both, if you don't mind.
To play against Llama. And I don't know that I have a least favorite card because they're all, some are niche, some are not, right? So
Sure. Okay. Least favorite card to play against, Godziel?
Kitty, I think. Kitty.
I have to agree with you. Yoden's beatable for me, but Kitty Kitty wins get very difficult.
Yeah. I was thinking actually Yoden isn't much of a threat these days, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not.
But
actually.
Kitty is just hands down. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, all right. This is actually one question that I wanted to ask. So first, I just want to say hi to Dishonesty. If Dishonesty, you're still here, thanks for coming through. Always good to chat with you. But so Lapsus is saying, Lapsus was one of the folks I think who won in the tournament that we did, the delegation tournament. So got an invite to AAD, but can't accept because the Peak Monsters Guild is just too good. They don't require any DEC contributions as the billings are sponsored. So my question for Godziel with this is, do you find it difficult from like a recruitment and retainment and participation because of the fact people aren't buying in and they don't have to pay anything? Like, is that a struggle for you, or is that actually an easier recruitment tool?
To be very honest, I would expect that the fact that there is no DEC required to join to be like an attractive point for players to join. But I feel that, first of all, the top players would want to get into a guild that has a level 10 town hall for sure for a start. And if you have bought in enough in the game, then you could likely get a spot there very easily. Whereas for those who just buy in to be at like gold level, then the town hall 10 guilds will not look at you. And then you'll be you'll be playing rank battles most of the time. And that extra DEC that comes from, a guild that is only Town Hall 5, 4, 6 may not be that attractive to you, for you to put in the effort to go through the selection process, put my name in, get a chance of a rejection. Like, why do I go through all that and make myself feel bad? Like, just play my own game, and I don't need that bonus DEC. So, whereas if you are already invested heavily, then you would think of, how do I maximize my returns as much as possible? I would want to get into a max town hall guild. So I think there's some kind of players just don't see the benefits of entering a guild, which I think is due to a bit of maybe the information is not being transferred or not being really accessible.
Is it just not being marketed well to
players? It's not being marketed well, even by I think when people see Splinterlands, like most content creators and stuff, the focus wouldn't be on brawls, right? The focus would be on prices, token prices, card flipping, investment.
So you're saying strategy. I'm not doing my job. I should go and make more guild content.
Yeah.
No. I think you're absolutely right. Like, I mean, I don't cover guilds enough, I think.
No, but that's the point, because if let's say as a content creator yourself, right, it's very hard for you to market a guild because you do not own like a max town hall guild to begin with, because it's very hard to achieve that. So as a new content creator, I will not be pushing brawl or guild content because I don't have a guild to even market in the first place. Yeah. Whereas for those who are guild owners at Town Hall 10, they don't have to market the guild because it will be full by then. So it's because it's not so easy to market a guild in Splinterlands for now. And people are more focused on just their rewards and their daily rewards rather than looking at how to play the game with other players. It's just me versus another guy versus a us game or team game. People don't see it as a team game yet. Yeah.
Darkestnyte, do you have any thoughts on this? On requiring versus not requiring?
I do. So,
Please.
so for me, and I handle, I guess, as a de facto recruiter for the guild, right? No one said go out and do this. I find the requirement for contributions is an effective recruiting, but not just that, retention tool, right? So we are focused on a very specific type of player, right? One that looks towards the future of the game and says, "Hey, this 500 DEC, which is kind of covered through their playing anyway, through the bonuses that they get, being in a level 9 lodge, right? You get 15% if you play a bunch of games. That it's negligible, right?
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. But you as you see that investment to start to grow month after month, it is less likely that you're going to leave the guild after 4 or 5 months, right? We don't want people to leave. We want people to make an investment and stay. That's why we do the purge, right? We do the purge to make room for people, since there are limited slots, make room for people that are going to be participating. And again, you see the guild chat at the tavern is lit up all the time, because we're talking about this, talking about that. We're excited about the game and the changes and how do we invest and do pools together. These are people that are really committed to the game, and that participation drives results, right? In fact, and it's funny, right? So when DC was high, we had more people contributing, which was crazy. But then even as it started to go, DC started to go back down to his peg, we had a conversation, and then we said, really, the goal here, we're accomplishing the goal. We don't really need the DEC per se. Let's continue to invest and improve the building. So I think it works, right? For recruitment and retention, it focuses our attention on those things.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I feel the same way, where it's just like if people don't buy into something, if there's no like skin in the game, like literal skin in the game, like they just don't value it. And so that's why I'm wondering, but I don't know how much of like an issue that is. And so that's why I was curious to get Godziel's thoughts on it. But at the same time, I think, what Peak Monsters is doing, I think Peak Monsters is doing a tremendous service by offering newer players a chance to jump into the whole guild system. And then like you said, Godziel, like it may have started as like a feeder guild where, but it can evolve into something where when you do find the right people who get it, right, long-term thinking and see the benefits. Like here was a perfect example, right? Like AAD literally tried to poach Lapsus from one of the Peak Monsters guilds, and Lapsus said no, right? So but that to me is like just a kind of small taste or preview of what the future could be. And right now guilds, I think, are completely underutilized. We know that there's going to be a lot more.
Yeah. And again, I mean, we don't have a requirement against having alts, right? So if you have an alt, then you can have an alt join, right? We don't, I mean, that's a good linkage between the two guilds, right? I wouldn't mind, having some sort of interaction. That's the thing, right? We can talk about guild participation, competition, but what about guild alliances? Right? That would be a thing.
Are you proposing something?
Maybe.
Hey, when land comes out in the future, that could be something interesting.
What would that look like? What would a guild alliance even look like? Right? So,
it looks like a bunch of throne matches to me. I don't think I like it.
Well, no, that definitely, we don't how we feel.
No win trading.
Yeah,
no, just like
win trading on guild brawls. Holy moly.
That'd be something else.
Wait, we don't know that doesn't happen. We have no idea.
Whoa! Yeah. Are we going to start some rumors here today?
No, we're not going to do that. We're all very bullish today.
Yeah, we're all very bullish today. Now, I mean, I just don't see what the benefit would be, because you don't earn anything, right? There's no earnings there. So maybe SPS coming in could be something that would be.
No, you get crowns, right? You get crowns to build. You get.
I know, but I guess what I'm saying is that none of that has like monetary value. Like people can't withdraw it, so you don't have an incentive to throw it to somemeone else.
Yeah, I get you. Again, you have to be just as invested in the game for that to even have any value, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. So Cruz is saying, is the new season end chest only go by increments of 110? No, you'll be able to get them in in single digit increments.
Yeah, I have 33. So.
Virus is saying, I think a guild brawl tournament would be awesome for Splinterfest.
Oh, absolutely.
If we can make that
absolutely.
happen, that'd be a lot of fun. All right, let me try to catch up on some other stuff here. Do you think we need a way to direct message players? I think Godziel was just talking about that from a recruitment standpoint. So,
but not even that, right? The ability to say to somebody, "Great game."
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
That would be awesome.
As long as nobody's like swearing afterwards, like,
well,
F you and your Yoden too.
Well, you know what's funny about that? Of all the gaming communities that I have played with, the Splinterlands community is the most civilized. Right? I mean, I know you play, FPS games, After Sound, and I'm sure you've heard some things in those.
Oh, God, it's
crazy.
Trash talk.
Trash talk.
Talking.
Yeah, it's not a thing in Splinterlands, right? And maybe
because it's not possible yet.
Well, there we have it.
Man, if you hear some of the things I say when I rage against.
Oh yes.
Actually, you know what I think would make for great content, and I'm even considering doing this. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm playing here by myself, and like I win a game that I didn't think I could win, or there was like a timely dodge or something, like I am cheering, like loudly. And then when I lose a game where like my player just didn't, my monster didn't hit the shot that I thought he was gonna hit, I am just so upset and distraught. I'm banging against the wall here. And I was just like, you know what? I need to do some play sessions where I just do that. And again, I'm not going to be disrespectful. It's good sportsmanship, but I do it from the lens of like being a coach, where I'm just like, well done, you did it.
Yeah. So
I used to play like one of the most toxic game. If you guys play FIFA on PlayStation,
I never did.
It's
very toxic.
I would say it's one of the most toxic. It's like controller breaking, and then the trash talk, the taunting. I think that's like the highest level of trash talking. If anyone in the chat of watching this plays FIFA, like FIFA Ultimate Team, you would know that is
it. Thing.
Yeah, and how civilized Splinterlands is as of now. But it
cool.
could get ugly. It could. Imagine in guild brawls, you get to PM and talk all together.
And you know what? If you really do want to communicate, there's always Discord, right? Discord has been great for communicating. I get messages from people all the time that either watch the streams or even playing on the QA server, right? 2 people reach out to me and say it was great playing, right? Like, I'm like you just, of course it was great. You just tore me apart. It's like that scene in what was it? The Avengers, when Iron Man, rolled into one of the rooms and shot everybody up, and he was like, "Great talk, guys," and they're all like, "No, it wasn't." Right? So I love that scene, by the way. But that's kind of what it's like. So.
Ooh, this is interesting here. So I think Chinzilla is saying we need to have a way to track guild members' contribution. I think that's already the case, but brawl win rate and participation status would be good too. We don't have that yet, right?
Shit for that.
It'll come. That'll come. They'll do a whole guild rework and show all kinds of statistics and stuff like that. I have no doubt that will come.
This is I don't want to be on Godzilla's bad side if I haven't been playing, because then he's gonna come down and lay the smackdown.
Yeah, I have a like a Google sheet tracking the results of the brawl results and participation. So it's very manual. Yeah, very manual, but manageable for now. But I hope I want everything to be on the game itself, like like private messaging, stats, analytics, results, past and history. I'm not sure if it's like a blockchain thing where it's going to be difficult to store like data in the game itself, but because the more functionalities you have in the game, the longer screen time you have for the players. Like, players will stay on the game for longer, and that's like one of the KPIs or metrics that game companies use to track and monitor. And usually when screen time increases, people will spend more on the game, people invest more in the game and play more as well. So I think that we are getting there, and in the next a year or two, we'll see like more and more functionalities coming up. So looking forward.
You could also do third-party development, right? So there are a lot of tools out there that could just take it from the blockchain directly. So, and they can, position it as an extension onto the actual game itself. So there's definitely options there. So,
this is a good one. So I feel like I've heard of this token, but I didn't know what it was used for. But Lapsus is saying there's actually a way to say GG to your opponent already. It's just not very popular. But there's a token on Hive Engine called SBT, which was founded for the specific purpose. So I'll have to do some research into that. Because you have the username, so you could just send SBT, I'm assuming, to them to say like GG.
Interesting.
Yeah. That might be interesting.
That's interesting, right?
I will look into that. Thank you, Lapsus.
We may have a new thing here we can all use to drive value.
Yeah, I'll send GG to everybody except for Kitty. From Kitty, I'm gonna like send an invoice request. When you beat me, you send me SBT with your stupid Kitty.
See, the fact that you feel the way you do means you have to get one yourself.
Exactly. It's just
it should be a priority.
There's just so many, just so many things to get. Darkestnyte.
I know.
So many things to get. All right, I'm gonna give a shout out here just because we're trying to be inclusive on the stream. So the Wizards are trying to recruit. So if you guys are interested, you got 3 guilds here that are actively trying to recruit. The Wizards, Peak Monsters, Archon, and then AAD.
After Sound, how is your deck coming along? Have you been upgrading your cards? And where do you plan to play in the new rewards? So, I think your previous stream or your video, you said like maybe gold or diamond, you're undecided.
Well, okay, so going back to this, the win rate here, one thing that I found actually quite interesting was so my deck's been coming along great. I just got enough BCX to level up my Obsidian to level 6. So now all of my summoners should be maxed for gold, which I'm excited about. The march to Diamond Plus is going to be long, and especially with prices going up, I think it'll be a while before I get there unless I win the lottery or Bitcoin hits $1 million. We'll see. So, but I was thinking that I would play primarily in gold, but looking at these numbers specifically here, so similar to what I was trying to say for Darkestnyte with Diamond and Champion, with gold, if I have enough power to be in gold 1, then I can earn at least 12 to 13,000 reward shares. And if I end the season, or at least jump up to diamond at any point, then it's like playing maybe 2.5 to 3 times more games in gold than I would need in diamond to get the diamond chests. And for somebody who's addicted like me, I don't mind the extra games for the better rewards.
Okay. And you have bonuses, right? And you have bonuses, right? So
and bonuses too. Yeah,
13,000. You'll probably add another 20% to that. So what is that? Another 3,000-4,000. So you're really, close to, maybe 17,000 per win, which ironically is half of what you need for the diamond, which I think is interesting.
That's true, yeah. So far, a lot of like the content creators has been like talking in terms of like, okay, like where do I see myself? Where do I want to play? Where am I able to play? But I feel that this may not be very relatable to a lot of the newer players, because for us, we are already in gold, we are already in diamond, and choosing and deciding is like at our free will in a sense, right? But how about if we put it in another perspective of like, okay, what do you need to actually be there? So for example, in silver, I think like to be a comfortable silver 1 player, you probably need like level 4 summoners around there, like like your Chaos Legion summoners have to be about level 4. What do you guys think about like gold, diamond, and champion? What do you need in terms of collection first to be able to play there?
That is very funny because we're literally figuring that out right now through the competition. So I knew I liked this guy for a reason.
Godziel, Darkestnyte was very excited when I told him that you might be joining us. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to make this happen.
Yes. So well, you start first after Sam with the competition we're doing, because there's a reason why we're doing it, right? And I have my own personal reason, but
sure. Well, I mean, the competition, as it was explained to me, I'm literally just the guinea pig in this experiment. So Darkestnyte sent me maxed out Chaos Legion decks, so not a full like set, but maxed out Chaos Legion summoners, as well as like some of the monsters that he thought would be good. So I've been using that and to play this season. We both started after finishing in Champion last season. We both started in Diamond 3. And I'm playing Chaos Legion primarily. He's playing the older cards. So I guess you're saying that it's wild, Darkestnyte, but I feel like you're also including some of the untamed summoners in there.
Few. Yeah, very
so,
few. Yeah.
To go back to the power group that we were talking about, it's really to see who can get back up to champion the fastest, right? And so my thesis is I don't think that the Chaos Legion summoners in the current state are able to do that. I think you might need to wait until the Chaos Legion legendary summoners are out to be able to actually get up there. And so in the beginning, I was about 100 rating behind him over the first couple of days of the season. He's pulled away, although I haven't played as much recently. So he's pulled away, whereas like I'm hitting this wall at 3,200 that I keep bouncing back and forth between like 32 and 3,100. I think Darkestnyte, you've broken out to like 3,400. I think the last time I checked.
Right
where you're at.
Yeah.
So
right
we're racing to see which kind of decks would be good. And then to answer your question, Godziel, like hopefully that will be a good example, or like we'll have good data to be able to say like which ones do you really need to excel at the highest levels.
Yeah. Like I was really like in my mind, I'm glad we had this conversation, because in my mind, like when I was thinking gold or diamond, right? Like it came to me that, okay, my guess was that when the rewards start to be in gold, like competitive gold 1, so that you reset in silver 1 and you can quickly get back to gold, right? To do that, you need like level 6 or 5 for some Chaos Legion summoners primarily. It will get you to gold. And then, but to be in diamond, and especially like even diamond 2 or maybe barely touching diamond 1, you need level 8 max summoners for Chaos Legion. And to get anybody anywhere higher than that, you need the older cards or the untamed legendary summoners, which will be very, very limited. So with this basis, I think that, okay, diamond might be out of my reach, because to excel in it, bare minimum, you need level 8 Chaos Legion max cards, which from level 6, that means like gold to diamond, is double in terms of the amount of investment you need to put, because the number of BCX from like level 6 to a max level 8 is double in terms of BCX. So do you think that will be worth it if based on this like theory, like diamond is level 8, max summoners, max cards, and gold being 6?
So that's what I think the rework is all about. So there's the other side of the competition, right? And so I think it's important for most people that are investing into something to understand what the end point looks like. Why am I doing this, right? Why am I spending so much time, energy, money on doing this thing that for most people is just a game, right? And so that's where and again, it was the name of the deck was called Full Power Chaos Legion. And I had to change it because what I would do is I would watch, I would look at the replays of After Sam's games, and I said, wow, man, he lost because he didn't have this critical card from Untamed. So, and it was a message I sent him. I said, man, I know I need to send you the Pixies and the Scavo, but I said, I got to have at least a chance to win this competition. But then what did I do? I sent it to him anyway. And I said, all right, no, fair is fair. And and that's a knockout combination, right? And so it started, I think we started to see a progression towards back up to after you know, after really kind of getting stalled out, right? And it happens to me too. So I get stalled out, and then I'll take a stream of losses and get pushed all the way back to 3,200, right? And then I have to go back towards it again. But ultimately, I think what we're doing is we're identifying a list of competitive modern cards that are necessary, right? And again, I don't want to pump a card price or anything like that, right? But I think we should all be doing our analysis to say, what am I going to need to be competitive? Because now is the time to figure that out and get cards while they're cheap, right?
Yeah.
You can figure it out. And again, it may even be your play style, right? Maybe a card that I think is critical for me is not critical for you because that doesn't match your play style, right? There's more than one strategy. There are niche cards, right, that are not highly thought of, right? And I like Scavo Hireling. I didn't play that card. I didn't use that. And I saw someone else make a comment about it, and I started playing it, and my win percentage started going up, and I was like, why? Right? Well, it's a heal for armor, and if you have a heal for for your health, it increases the survivability of that card. So again, it doesn't have an attack, but it allows cards that do have an attack to stay on the field longer, right? It's important. So there are cards that After Sand and I talk about that are super low, and I just ask myself, how can I use this card? It's super cheap right now. That means the general community doesn't understand the value of it. I think it was Aggro said it like a year ago. He was like, every card has a value. Every card in the right situation is the best card. Yeah, it's for you to figure it out. And then just in terms of the number of combinations, I mean, what? A couple quadrillions in terms of different combinations of cards. So no one can claim to be an expert at it. I mean, there's cards that are likely to win, right? But it's for us to figure out right now, right? And the meta is constantly evolving and changing, as we're seeing in the new reward cards. So yeah.
Did you have any other thoughts on where we're at in our experiment and how it's been for you so far, Darkestnyte?
It's been great. Right. So it's been motivating me to push me. Normally, so we're at day 8 right now in the season, right? So we're all not yet quite halfway through. Normally, I would hit champion or be where I am at maybe day 4. So I would play a lot less. And I've had to split my attention between QA and here, right? So, but I'm committed to making sure that the QA experience is good. So I would say I'm on track, right? I mean, I'm definitely going to get back to champion, but it's hard, right? Because a lot of the cards I gave you were critical to me making it, and I have less options, right? Yeah. So I have to stay focused on just using the older cards, and I think there are just some of the new cards are just so OP, right? The Kelia deck, right? That's
so good. It's so good,
brutal, right? And it is super competitive. And I think that's why the Kelia Summoner is probably the most expensive. Yeah, of the rare, most expensive. Yeah, it's the most expensive, right? Yeah. So there's a reason for that. Demon Shark combined with Flying Squid combined with
Deep Lurker.
Oh man,
that trifecta is just. I mean, it's the crazy thing is that it's good starting in silver. And it just gets better and better and better.
It's so it's just so stable, Like cards are so stable. That's the thing.
And they're good in a lot of situations too, and they work very well with Kelia.
Right. So the best that I've seen in terms of team makeup, it's Kelia, Demon Shark, the Squid, then Jin O'Shaughnessy, right? Because he has the shield, right?
What is that? Force field,
right? Which prevents anything from just blasting through that. And then you have a healer, so you have Murdali, and then ended up with Wave Brew.
Yep.
Right. And you're scattering the damage all over the place. You're healing it up. Your Demon Shark is just pummeling them.
It's
I mean,
very well rounded.
Bakjira is awesome in certain contexts too, like impassable at that.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So in a poison match, I would change Wave Brood for Bakjira, right? Just put him at the back. He's healing in damage, and then typically he'll outlast everybody else after the poison has taken its toll, and you're the winner.
You just win by timeout.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, there's so many good strategies with the water deck. I don't think anything really competes with it in Chaos Legion.
The next season when it starts, I think we got a very interesting combination here. I think like our end in goal after some will be earning diamond chests, while Darkestnyte will be earning champion chests, and then we can have a we group up and then we go through what we experience. I think it's such a nice blend, like we are in this 3 different tier, and
I don't belong in diamonds, so I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, again, play once. I mean, if you didn't know how to play, you would. I can give you all the good cards in the world, right? Doesn't matter.
Sure. Oh, I'm saying that my deck isn't good enough for diamond. But what will be interesting is Godziel. Because are you planning to stay in gold this season then?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I'll stay here for the experiment.
Yeah.
This will be good. This will be good for us to go through because like I told Darkestnyte that even if I hit champion rating, which is 3,700, I'm probably not going to advance because I think if I spend most of like next season in gold, then I want to be earning diamond level chests. So, but hopefully I can still beat him to 3,700 rating. But what I'm thinking would be good is like. We'll be both kind of playing in gold around that time. And it'll be interesting to see how many more chests you're winning because you're in gold, and if the quality of your chests versus the quality of my chests will be good. You know what I mean? So that'll be a good experiment for us to run.
Right? That will be the
because we just opened up. I don't know if you saw it, Godziel. We opened up
no, I didn't.
33 bronze chests, right? And that was simulated end of season. And I'll tell you, I was pretty satisfied. Even at bronze, I was satisfied.
I mean, it's just the fact that you can win so much more now is awesome. All right, let's. Oh, go ahead.
I hope we don't say
you want to go through the comments.
Go
ahead.
I was just trying to take a break in there to catch up with some folks here.
Yes,
sure. So we had the Wizards. It sounds like Praetorian Pandas is also recruiting, so you can reach out to Andrew about that. There was a question here that I wanted to ask you guys, and feel free to not answer because I'm not going to answer it. Vilson, you know better. I don't do price predictions, but we can talk about where we think SPS is going. And if you guys have price predictions you want to throw out, then feel free to.
I don't do price prediction on token basis, but I would say you can predict or look at the market cap and valuation of the game, and then based on the token supply you figure out the price that is attainable or achievable in the future. I always look at it at the value point of view, not the token. I don't care if it's 10 cents, 1 cent, $1. It's about the value of the game, the value of the company in that sense.
All right, Wilson's saying he just wanted to make it fun. Okay, so before we even get into this, then none of this is financial advice.
Thank you. Yes,
but
not financial advice at all.
Darkestnyte, what are your thoughts?
For 36 cents.
36 cents? What do you? I mean, I'm so curious. That's a very specific number.
So just looking at again, and I could go through market caps and all that, but when I combine the burn, I look at where it's at now, right? Certain events pump SPS, and when there's nothing going on, it drops. It steadily just drops. But soon, we're going to be giving out SPS for as rewards. So I'll bring people into the game. Soon we're going to have land. Soon we're going to have more utility. All of these things are going to grow. But and again, it comes back to your Axie statement yesterday, right? Will it ever reach $2? It could, but a lot of things would have to happen. Yeah. I think a 3x, and again, I'm just giving where we are right now, right? Sure. I think 3.5x increase is reasonable and doable. Anything more than that, it would have to be perfect You know, perfect storm would have to happen for it to be more than that.
And it wouldn't last long.
It wouldn't last long.
It
Exactly.
wouldn't last.
It wouldn't last long, right? But they never do, right?
No.
If you look at Axie, what was it? $142.
160, I think.
Yeah,
and it's back
160,
down to
right?
20.
And so imagine if you held on to all that Axie because you thought it was going to continue to rise, right?
Yeah.
I probably would have. And now to look at it at 20, you're slapping your head saying, why didn't I take profits, right? And maybe people did take profits. Maybe that's why it went to 20, right? So, I mean, hard to say. So, you know, I think 36 cents is a good, solid, reasonable expectation. And if time frame, I'm thinking it's going to happen right before land phase 1. That's my prediction.
Okay. So throughout the summer, then maybe going into Q3, Q4.
Yeah, I think the buzz for the game is going to reach a euphoric state again over the summer, right? Because it's already happening, right? We haven't even gotten any of the reward reworks, and already the buzz is crazy. It's affecting the card market. It's affecting the price of SPS right now, right? And we're still a week out.
Yeah.
And then we have validators, right? That's a big draw too. I think validators. I mean, I can't even tell what that's going to do to it, right? But I think it's going to sell out. The first pre-sale is going to sell out. Think Waka, right?
Yeah, I remember.
Do that same thing. And then so the next phase of the validators, if it does sell out, and again, it's a big if it does, then the next tranche, right? They will. I think it'll pump SPS like crazy, right? Because everybody's going to want to get at them.
Fair.
So,
okay.
So I don't know if, I mean, again, we can do an analysis of it, but I mean, this is all gut, right? Not
yeah.
But I feel like I've seen this movie before.
Okay, so Godziel, do you have any thoughts? Or did you share yours already? If we're just throwing funny numbers out.
Like I just feel that the game is at a reset now, and then I can see like the traction is coming back. It's coming back because we're on the right track. And if we keep this going, then it will create a positive effect that will amplify over the next 6 months, which could bring it to the euphoria stage like Darkestnyte going, especially when the thing that would really strike me that to really lift the game would be the new reward system, because when rewards are high, that brings people in the game because people want to participate. And when new players come in, it means new funds. There will be like a demand shock in a very limited time, because there's a lot of capital chasing this limited number of cards, chasing the packs, chasing the notes, chasing SPS. That's when you see the prices shoot up within like a month or 2 weeks. So, but the key is players, new players. The draw is new players because everyone here have limited capital, right? And a lot of money has been spent on, like Waka promo, Chaos Legion especially. So, funds are tight, especially with the, crypto market going down. I'm sure many players have lost money, some way or another. So the only way that I can see things really flying up would be new players with new fresh capital. And because now we are chasing the right players. In the past, you're just chasing any players who free to play, want to play. But now we are targeting players that we want in the game, who joins the game knowing that they need to invest and buy in. So we already, filter those noises away. So if a boost of players were to come in, flood in, the flood may be even higher than the previous time, because these are players who are in to buy in and to participate immediately. So yeah, if the stars align, then yeah.
Imagine we get back together in what will it be? Yeah, a month, or really 3 weeks, and we're opening up our chest, right? Godziel, you'd probably go first. Well, I'm just giving an example. You go first, and you'd open up gold chest, and you're like, holy moly, got whatever, right? And it's incredible. Then after sound, diamond, right? You go next, and boom. And then champion, right? And then luck upon luck, the first legendary gold foil gets opened up. Like, what do you think the effect of that would have throughout the community? A $600, or heck, even you with another $14,000. I mean, 14,000 DEC chest drop, but this time there's a multiplier. Right?
You know,
I mean, what do you think that would do to people around the world?
Yeah,
it definitely changed things. It would definitely make people pay attention. So okay. So Vilson, I'm going to answer this question for you. Okay. I don't do price predictions, but I'm going to do it just for you. And I'm going to give you my bullish case scenario. All right. Again, not financial advice. I don't actually think this, but I think there is a case to be made for SPS hitting a new all-time high within the next year. A lot of things would need to happen for that, but it would have to be like everything is narrative driven, right? So Bitcoin, we need to be trading sideways or back in a bear market. And when we saw Axie make its new all-time high and run up, it was during that Bitcoin kind of dip of last year. So if we have something similar to that, there's several narratives that I think could really come into play. What we don't have is another airdrop incoming that will make people realize that, oh, I can get a ton of free money. But there could be something on the horizon. And I don't have any information. There's no inside information here, just what we've heard on the town halls. But if you combine the fact that we could start to catch up with Axie, if you combine the fact that the rewards could start to get better, and then if you combine the fact that this game could start pumping and be a green light beacon in a sea of red over the next year, then there's one thing that I think could drive everything else combined. And that is if the team works on a new game for Warner Brothers, or so for Warner Music, and they airdrop whatever game tokens to SPS holders. I think at that point, people will realize, wait, this partnership has value, and there's a crap ton of games that could be coming down the pipeline. I need to get SPS right now. If that happens within the next year, I think we hit our all-time high and blow past it.
Oh, blow way past it.
Yeah,
like,
that's my bullish pie in the sky prediction.
Yeah.
But that's it. And I think it's going to happen? No, not at all. But if it does, it would be interesting.
But if it did, yeah.
If it did, yeah. Because there has to be something similar to what the airdrop did last year, right? The airdrop came in and made people realize that they could get 200, 300% APR on DEC and then another 200% APR on SPS after getting an airdrop to them. Yeah. So if Warner comes through in a big way and all of a sudden people realize, wait, with everything that's coming out on Warner Music, and I don't know I should know, but I don't know who the top artists who are signed on Warner are. But like, let's say some A-list musician drops a new game or ecosystem, and it's just like, wait, they have a whole roster of these artists, and if that goes successful, then that could be absolutely insane for the price of SPS.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'll tell you, I mean, this is kind of funny, right, from a promotional standpoint. I never really listened to a bunch of Waka Flocka's music until I had that Waka card. Now I got to tell you, I'm a fan now. So
it's fun to bump to, man.
Yes, especially when you're playing the card and you're blasting the music. Oh yeah, I mean,
like I think like a new game in like this year or next year would be a little bit difficult to achieve, but I think looking at the Waka launch, I think there are places they can improve on to make SPS, because now the element of airdrop is there, right? It's through the vouchers, but people don't see vouchers that valuable. People just sees it as, okay, I need a ticket to buy packs, as a ticket. And if I don't want packs, I don't want the voucher. People don't see that the future, people only react when something is coming out. So if they have like a massive promotion with some cool airdrop tie-in with that new promo card or something, then people will realize that maybe it will improve or increase the value of SPS and vouchers. But I think the team is trying to be very conservative to not overhype things now, because they are trying to be, socially responsible and responsible to the community as well, because they can't promise anything. So, but if they were to drop like the bomb, then in future things would just might go out of hand, to be honest, like some crazy tie-ups, like yeah.
So Icy Flow. I visualize you in my head as like a comedian, just a funny guy.
I need Icy Flow to keep our feet on the ground. I said that this is all pie in the sky, so I don't think this is going to happen. But we are definitely smoking some hopium right now.
Wait, but hold on. We've seen this before, right? It's not like it's coming out of nowhere, right? We've seen this before, and in fact, we saw it just this week. A week ago, everything was crashing. That's what we spent all week talking about. Literally 7 days later, we're talking about a 30% increase in our asset values.
Yeah.
I don't think that's hopium, right?
Yeah. You know, like Darkestnyte. Darkestnyte, like previously I shared with Aftersound on this idea of what if, like, out of every transaction in Splinterlands, 1% of it gets converted to USD and gets deposited in the SPS DAO.
It could be nice.
And it creates a rising floor for SPS. And as long as the game thrives, it becomes like a fund that grows.
Right. Given the number of transactions, it wouldn't even need to be 1%.
Yeah.
0.1%.
Can you imagine?
We would never even notice it.
Can you imagine that? I think that would be game changing for like DeFi and crypto space. Like,
absolutely.
It's like a saving fund and a ever rising floor, like the concept of ever rising floor.
So then you know what you need to do. You need to get a validator, and we can then vote on that initiative, and then we can get it.
Well, you don't need a validator. You don't need a validator to vote, but you do need SPS. So make sure you buy your SPS.
So there you go, right? So, but my point is, if that's something that we think would benefit the community, that's something that we will have control over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I really hope that it would happen. I think that would bring so much buzz to Splinterlands. Like, that would be crazy. Like, that would be crazy. Like, man.
All right. Crypto Ace has been chatting around quite a bit, so I wanna address this. 2 million SPS is about to be burned, and then Vilson said that it's not that big of an amount. I agree with that. So I don't think that that's going to be as big of a catalyst. I think people are buying SPS now in preparation for the voucher sales, but I think we're going to level out after that.
Oh yeah, and probably will dip, right? Because again, we see that every time when Waka was kind of going to use that because it's very similar in terms of what their I think the process is going to be, right? And so we saw this run up, SPS and vouchers, and then right before the sale, what happened? It dipped, right? Because I think that some people didn't intend to buy Waka, but they took advantage of the fact that they knew it was going to rise, and they sold right before the the auction.
Exactly.
The sale, right? And I think we're going to see that again, right? Again, not financial advice, but again, we've seen this movie a couple times, so
we'll see what the sequel brings. All right, this is another good question from Vilson. What the biggest percentage of assets you hold? Is it cards, SPS, land, or packs?
Cards by far.
Cards by far.
SPS for me.
Like, I think, like, to what IC Flow said on hopium, right? Like, I think what, like, you guys, if you watch us talk and watch other content creator, you really have to have your own discernment to decide for your own, like, what makes sense and what don't. Like, especially with like cards and land and stuff, right? Sometimes you would think it's very easy to throw out numbers like, oh no, there's 150,000 land, how many max out cards you will need to work on the land. But then if you really think about it, like, do you even have a max out card now? Like, do you even play? And how many players actually play with max out cards now? Would you even think of buying a max out card to put on your land? Like, so things like that you got to take into consideration. So don't just smoke hopium all the time. Like, take the content online with a pinch of salt.
Right. And everybody has their own objectives, right? Everybody knows what they want to accomplish. For some people, getting the champion is not their goal, right? Some people are fine, even playing at bronze, right? It's a a diversion from their everyday activities, and they're good where they are, right?
Yeah. What works for you? What's most efficient for you in terms of the amount of investment you want to put in the game? How you enjoy the game? Do it what you think benefits yourself the most.
Yeah. And it's not just financial, right? It's actual time, focusing the amount of time. Because guess what you're not doing when you are playing? You're not doing something else that could generate more for you. In fact, I think after Sammy said last time, there are much easier ways to turn a profit and to make money than Splinterlands, right?
Yeah,
but I don't know that there are many that are as fun.
Yep.
That is true. Yeah. So I think this could also be a big driver of price action for SPS. Like if vouchers get more utility, and I don't know that they're going to hit $40 anytime soon, but if people realize that they can get that SPS staking APR, right? And they made that change recently on the SPS like staking page, where now they include the value of the vouchers as an APR, which I like because I used to calculate, but it also kind of annoys me because I want to know what the base rate is. I would like for them to separate it out, but it's good to know regardless. So we'll see. And then I don't know anything about Gods Unchained. Are either of you guys playing Gods Unchained? It's up 200%.
I think I should be though, right? Like that's right.
It sounds like something you might enjoy.
Yeah, it's right.
I tried it before. It's very like Hearthstone, like it's very similar concept, so didn't really interest me.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. I missed this, but Cryptmancer said you could earn up to 12 grand a year in champ.
We did that math last time. So yep. So that's right in line with what we thought.
Yep. Cool, guys. All right. Well, oddly enough, I'm the one that has to hop off here, but I appreciate you guys taking the time. Are there any closing thoughts, things that we didn't cover? I want to give each of you a chance just to say however you're feeling, or if you want to give, like I said, any closing thoughts before we end. Darkestnyte, I'll throw it over to you first.
Man, we just talked for 3 hours.
I know, it's crazy. I love it.
Games. So that's it. If you want to know how I feel about anything, just rewatch it, right? Super bullish. Looking forward to the reward changes, and really looking forward to sharing it with the community, right? So is this really going to live up to the hype that we think is going to happen in a couple of weeks, right? Ultimately, I mean, to me, when I look at the rewards and even the experience of today of opening up the bronze chest, I'm thinking that's a lot of rewards, right? Like that's a lot. And I just hope it's sustainable. I hope that they don't nerf it, right? Because this is an exciting thing, but it's a lot, right? Like I feel like I'll be truly rewarded for the time and attention I put in the game. Like really, I really feel that. And so I just hope that it meets that expectation. That's it.
Great. Godziel, what about you?
Yep. I think like what I can see as the game progresses now is like instead of a game that is being hyped up because of token prices, DEC prices, SPS prices, I want the game to be backed or supported by product coming out from the team, because that's the only way the game will be sustainable. Products like packs, cards, promos, in-game functionalities, and just the game itself. And the token can only be as valuable as the game it is. So that's, to me, that's the bottom line. If the game is fun, the token prices will take care of itself. So and I see that the team is focusing on that. They are never ever talking about prices because they know what it takes to make the game sustainable. And for the new reward system, I think there's a lot of focus on how much diamond can earn, champion can earn. But to me, I'm more concerned like how much silver can earn and how much gold can earn, because for a game to be fun and sustainable, the rewards or your player base is more like a bell curve, because most of your players would probably only be able to buy in like silver decks or gold decks. So if the rewards are there, that's where you get the mass. You attract the masses to join in the game. You can have extremely high, champion rewards, but it's not achievable and attainable for people like me. I would just look at it as like, oh, this game is just for the rich, and then I'm out. And that's not what I want Splinterlands to be. I want Splinterlands to be like just average you and I with $1,000, 500 USD. I can participate in this economy and feel that my time and the attention I put in is worthwhile. I do not want to see the game as like, okay, I see this guy playing with champion deck, but I can't be part of it. I can just watch, and then I will stop watching after a few days and like, okay, what's the next game?
Move on to something else.
Yeah. For me, I want the rewards to really go to like the silver and gold area, so that more players buy in, and then we get this bell curve of players where most of our bulk players are in silver and gold. That's what I want the game to achieve in the next 3 to 6 months. If the rewards is a success, then we would see that bell curve. If we do not see that, we see an inverted bell curve like now we have, that means the reward structure has failed. So that's how I see it.
That is well said.
I mean, I think the most important thing we were able to share on this, not to downplay anything else, but was Darkestnyte going through the bronze rewards and just showing what you could earn at the most basic level. And so, I think to shout out to Dwayne Cunningham, 1258, like this is a game that will, at least now with the new rewards, hopefully be something that rewards you for your time and attention that you put into it, even at the lowest levels. And at the highest levels, you could earn significant income, which I think could be really great.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll be that bell curve, right? But it'll be I think a curve that'll be good for the community for sure. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to try and do some shout outs here. So Crypto Ace, thanks for coming through. Frags Mania, thanks for coming through. Harris, you as well. King Matt, is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide? No escape from reality.
A singer.
Someone's asking Darkestnyte if you have a YouTube or Twitch channel. I've been telling both of these guys they need to hop in on that, but I guess not.
Let me just comment on it. Like I'm just one of the guys, right? I love getting around and just talking about the game. I don't know if you guys know. I'm sure you do. After Sound works super hard.
Man.
I don't have that kind of energy. I'm an old man, and when he says, "Hey, do you want to come on?" I'm always going to say yes, but I really there's no way that I would have the time to do that.
I'm just the sidekick, like Jackie Chan in Rush Hour.
Yes.
Well, let me say this. So Druids, thanks for coming through. Chuni, thanks, and Lotnik, thanks for coming through. Let me just say this, and I'll close off with this. This game has been life-changing for me in many ways, just because it's made me realize the power of crypto, made me realize the power of community. It's made me realize a lot of different things. But I cannot say how excited I get when talking to either of you individually or just even together today. This is something really, really cool to do. So I hope that we get a chance to do it again. And it just raises like the quality of experience overall, because something that I was talking to a friend recently, and I was just like, with the pandemic that hit, like our lives went very digital for a little while, and now my life looks completely different as a musician. Like I'm not touring. I'm not planning on touring. Like just a lot of things are different for me on the other side. But what's been really fascinating to see is that through all these digital experiences, whether it's streaming on Twitch, YouTube, or playing this game, I do feel like I've been able to create some really genuine and authentic relationships with you guys, as well as many other folks around something that I'm incredibly passionate about. Right. And so I look forward to Splinterfest as being a day when I can shake the hands of a lot of people that I've met digitally. And Godziel, I don't know, it's on the other side of the world for you, but hopefully you and I get to share a meal at some point in the future. You know what I mean? So this has been something that's been really incredible for me to see and witness. And the fact that it's happened around a game that is changing lives around people, around the world is kind of surreal to me. So it just shows the time and age that we live in, and how, I get called out all the time for being an optimist. When people are like, "Oh, the world's falling apart. This is the worst time to be alive," and I'm just like, "No, it's actually kind of amazing.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing considering where we were, 50 years ago." So, I appreciate both of you guys for taking the time. Thank you so much for being here. And like I said, I hope we get a chance to do it again in the future. And to the folks who watched, who were here for all 3 hours, or even if you were here for only a minute, thank you guys for coming through and making this stream a lot of fun for us.
Yeah, you guys are all part of it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Like and subscribe.
Thanks, Godziel. Thanks, Godziel. Right at the end.
Like and subscribe.
Appreciate
all
it.
of you.